It's like that, being the baddest bitch in El Cologne. And sometimes, just because you're the baddest bitch in the El Cologne, you might just wanna masturbate to the aftermath. Adoro chocolate guava zone viva mol El Cologne. Ania fia shook shell El Cologne. Wakula shook isu CD. Anu farugan shell El Cologne. Wa El Cologne isu farugan shell me. Ania wahid ma'a El Cologne. Wa El Cologne isu wahid ma'ani. Ania kilu and jihu kama farugan shell El Cologne. Waku kama farugan. Ani akilu akwenu dik ani akilu fi El Cologne. Kama kafiza isu fia amadu fi El Cologne. Ania tabaha wakud. El Cologne isu ania. El Cologne yakilu ani akilu. El Cologne yatnalu ani abmilu.
I was just listening to a guy who said that he was visited by what he said was the archangel Gabriel, and then he described the angel as a she. He said she.
What guy said that?
This guy named Gano Grills. He's a
okay. If Rihanna says this, I'm sorry, Princess Empress says, if I remember hearing correctly, I overheard you saying they were genderless at one point. I thought differently before I heard you mention that. I read that they were all made previously. Yeah, but on the realm of Malachi, that's on this side, honey. You know what I'm saying? Malachi, yeah, they're all, but it just goes to show that they are male and female on the plane of Malachi. You know what I'm saying? On them planes, they are male and female. Prior to hydrogen and all of that, and all the different planes, such as the material plane, the plane of force, the spiritual plane, and the plane of Malachi, and all the other 7 planes, the doorway to hell, before that is when you get to ether. Etherians, there are no gender, but when they get to this side, right, from ether, when they get to this side, they take on an atomic mass, in a matter form. That's why it was explained to us that the beings on Malachut is as physical as you are. So to say as physical as you are is to know that they are male and females. But Etherians, you know what I'm saying? Etherians, they personify in male and female form on this side of hydrogen. Once they come from this, once they get from the other side of hydrogen onto this side of hydrogen, they personify as solid. If that helps. Okay, back to the whole Gabriel shit. I tuned. Okay, and he described Gabriel as a she. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, so and that was that. You know, nobody got into it. He just kept rolling, you know, with what he was saying, and you know, it didn't have no adverse effect on me, but a couple of other people, you know, of course, they're like, man, Gabriel's masculine, and I'm like, why don't you just ask the brother what he means by that? Why don't you ask?
Well, no, it's quite simple what he means by that, because even the Caucasian showed you that the angel Gabriel in Constantine was a female. Yes or no?
Okay, I didn't see that. Okay, cool.
Well, anybody seen Constantine? That angel Gabriel was a female. Now, the only thing that slipped people up is that people don't understand that seats changes depending on who is initiated, who's been tested and tried and proven worthy to take that seat. Gabriel is simply a title and a seat. You know what I'm saying? All the so-called angels, those are not their fucking real names. You know what I'm saying? Like the Gabriel that you know, the real name is Nusku, and Nusku was after the order of Zodok and was initiated in the order of Gabriel, and Nusku is the one that took the seat of Gabriel. That's why you'll find in the Holy Tablets, he'll say Nusku, who is the angel Gabriel. That Nusku took the seat of that angelic being as Gabriel. Okay, the same way we know you as Atun, but if once you initiated into the order of Zodok and tested and tried, and you take one of the seats, and you know what I'm saying, as let's say Matadun, and so now we will just be like Atun, who is Matadun. You know what I'm saying? But these seats and these the 20, I don't know why they think that the same angelic being holds this seat for eternity, and that's not it. The seats changes. You know what I'm saying? That's why you'll also find that each Anunnaki or Elohim is assigned to a human being. You know what I'm saying? Once the 24 elders, take the seat, once they all, like all 24, they are assigned to a human being to raise them up, test them, and try them and proven worthy to take the next seat, to take their seat. It's called successorship, caliphate.
That's it.
Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me that the angelic being that occupies the seat of Gabriel now is a woman or a female that took the seat of Gabriel and took the title and the seat and the position as the angelic being Gabriel.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
My response was, that's who he said he saw. Then that I'm going with what he said, man.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Because, as y'all make it seem like it's impossible for women to be tested and tried and proven worthy to take one of the seats. You know what I'm saying? That's not impossible. For a long time, certain men was inducted into the order of Zodok and women. You understand? But it appears that the 24 elders that we had at that time, the images and the pictures that he shows us of the 24 elders, absolutely. They were all males. But that was a long time ago. That was a very long time ago. So we don't know who is occupying or what gender is occupying the seats of the 24 elders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What human being has been tested and tried and proven worthy to actually take the seat of Gabriel or Israel or, you know what I'm saying, Sananda or Yanun or, you know what I'm saying, all the rest of them, Uriel, Kakael, Zoza. We don't know.
Speak.
Huh?
Yeah, as we speak.
Yeah, as we speak, because there's a new administration, honey, headed by the Non-Ether Council. So, never know. You just never know. But, because this is the second time this ain't the second time I heard that the angel Gabriel is a woman. This ain't the second time. I heard this about 3 or 4, 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and for homeboy to say that that's what he saw, then that's what it is. That's just that basically confirms it. Because, you know, like I said, man, when they did Constantine, when I first saw it, I think I was in my 20s. I don't know how old that shit is. I think it was like came out in the early year 2000. And when I saw that shit, I said, damn, that's deep. The Angel Gabrielle is a fucking female in this movie. But yeah, something has changed. Something has changed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, something has changed. And we talk about this all the time. That Ad-Hadat is the one that sits on the seven plane, the 7 to the 7 power of 7. Ad-Hadat, that's a woman, and Hua is possessed. Yeah, and she's possessed by Hua. See how this shit works?
Mm-hmm. So she got another name. Is Ad-Hadat?
Ad-Hadat. No, she ain't got no other name. That's her goddamn name.
Okay.
I mean, you can call her God if you like. You can call her Allah if you like. You can call her Elionel if you like. You can call her Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you like. If you can call her goddamn Jehovah, Yahweh, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But you call her Anu too. Shit. But that's her. She's at the 7th to the 7th plane to the 7th power of 7. That's where she sits. And she's possessed by Hua. You got the rebuttal to the slanderers?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, good. Go grab it real quick. Go to page 198, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I got it. I got it in on the computer, so I gotta look for it.
Oh, that's good. It's on the computer. So go to your goddamn computer and then put it in search. Rebuttal to the slanderers, or slanderer, or however you put it, and it should pop up. I looked at that book today at home. I said, man, I should bring it. And then some said, nah, somebody on the show gonna have it. And you'll hear that shit. You got it, Black? God damn it. Please call in a lat. Please. Thank you. God damn, they said somebody on the show got that shit. A dad. I mean, I'm calling her a dad. You a dad too, Black. Black is a dad. A dad is Black. She stepped on the mat. Said, I am a dad. In the hat. Black, call in for me real quick, baby. Let's get this shit popping. That right, shout it. I'm gonna do this shit once and for all for you motherfuckers, okay? That's why I said it wouldn't surprise me. And remember now the interesting thing is, though, iTunes, Dr. York said the first man that put the woman in position would be in power. Think about that. Do you remember him saying that shit?
No.
The first man to put the woman in position, to put the woman in power, will inherit power.
Hey, Don, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, sweetheart. It's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, same here. All right, I got it.
So wait. With that being said, y'all know the crackers are snatching up all goddamn black women, as many black women as they can, so they can inherit power. Y'all peep that shit? They snatching up these bitches. Yeah, he said the first man. He didn't say you niggas. He didn't say the first Nubian man, the first black man, the first whatever. He said the first man to do that shit will inherit more power. To put the woman in power, he will inherit more power. You notice that the crackers are snatching up black bitches. Thus, Howard Stern is coming for me. Come on in, Black 198. Give me a mic check, and I'm gonna take that motherfucker by the hand. I swear to God. I swear to white God. I'm gonna say, cause I know that nigga. He already know that bitch right here. This hoe right here. This is the one right here. Thus, he can go into the etheric plane and enjoy the rest of his life.
Okay, page 198. It starts off with the Nubian Creed, Allah in man. Is that it?
Okay, yes, let's start there. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I think that's it. Because it's a paragraph right underneath it. Where do you see the paragraph underneath all that? And it says, that. Are you on the left page? The left side is 198 on the left side?
No, 197 is on the left side.
Okay, well, shout it. I have a photographic memory. So it is on the left side of the goddamn book.
Okay, so 197.
Okay, so wait a minute. 198. 198. What is it? Oh, okay, 198. 198. 198. 198. You on page 198?
Yes.
Okay. And the next page is 199?
Hold on.
Next page 199?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, hold your hand on that page 198, and let's go back to one. Wait a minute. 198. What page you on? 189 or 198?
198. You want me to go to 189?
Yes, that's where it's at. It's 189. I'm dyslexic. It's 189, and now 189 should be on the left side of the page.
It is.
Okay, Don is good, but I thought I got a photographic memory, man. My shit is on flip. That's why nigga can't lie to me. Nigga, I saw you. I saw you at 5 o'clock on my watch. I had on my wrist. I was wearing a red shirt and blue jeans. And you were standing on the corner of Duval Street and can't get it right on a Thursday at goddamn 5 o'clock, motherfucker. And you was wearing a goddamn white tee and some baggy goddamn pants, motherfucker, and some Reeboks that day. Red Reeboks. Fuck out of here. I see you. Okay, 198. 189. Let's go.
Okay. The Nubian Creed, Allah pulsates and vibrates. In this section, Mr. Philip, it exceeds your comprehension. You claim to understand Allah and his attributes, but you obviously haven't sought out how Allah began the source of his creation. You stated on page 29 that Isa describes God as pulsating and vibrating. All things are created in tones of octaves of energy and of vibration. Just as there are octaves of musical notes, there are also octaves of tones. Between the 4th and 15th octaves, the normal ear can hear sounds. The one whose heart and mind is open can sometimes hear up to the 19th octave. Between the 25th and the 35th octave, heat is then generated. The 49th octave produces light. Cosmic rays manifest when energy increases between the 72nd and the 84th octave level. Between the cosmic rays, octaves lie, which produce emotional and mental waves up to the sound.
Let's stop right there, real quick. Now, I just want to make a point, real quick, which has nothing to do with what the fuck I'm about to say, but I'm about to say it any fucking way. Rewind that back about the cosmic rays, and then I'll tell y'all something.
Okay. Cosmic rays manifest when energy increases between the 72nd and the 84th octave level. Beyond the cosmic rays, octaves lie, which produce emotional and mental waves up to the sound hua.
Okay, stop right there. Okay, now is that the second? How many times cosmic rays was mentioned? Because I only called it twice. Is it mentioned prior to that?
I'm looking.
Okay, fine. Okay, now y'all know that there's two types of situations going on. One is cosmic rays, and the other one is electric power. Y'all familiar with those two? In between the cosmic rays and electric power, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what cosmic rays are, right? Like X-rays, ultraviolet rays, and shit like that, rays, okay? Gamma rays and all of that. The other one is electric power. That comes from your television waves, radio waves, and all the rest of the goddamn shit. Microwaves and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I just want to show you that. Anyway, back to the cosmic rays. Now, it is said earlier this week or last week that the extraterrestrials that live in the center of the earth, an article came out too, follow me closely, said that the aliens or the extraterrestrials are able to live off of the cosmic rays. Live and survive off of it now, okay? Which means that there is a serious shift. Prior to that, they must have been living off of the electric power, like your waves, your radio waves, your television waves, your microwaves, and I can't remember what all the other waves are.
X-rays?
Would it be X-rays? Those are rays, honey, not waves.
Rays. Got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay, but cosmic rays are all that: ultraviolet rays, gamma rays, X-rays, and goddamn, I think infrared or some old shit, infrared rays or some old goddamn shit like that. So now they're able to live off of straight cosmic rays. Even the extraterrestrials in the center of the planet Earth and some that come and come up to the surface are able to live off just the goddamn cosmic rays. That's powerful, ain't it?
Very. Wow.
And the article said they can survive off of that shit. And now that's interesting because they're telling you motherfuckers that you won't be able to survive with the ultraviolet rays. But because of the electromagnetic grid and the electromagnetic field that's going on, and with the electron, proton, electron that your cells are transforming into, you're able to live off of ultraviolet rays, all the cosmic rays. Okay? Anyway, let's get to Hua. Go back to that last statement about Hua and the cosmic rays. Listen closely now.
Beyond the cosmic rays, octaves lie, which produce emotional and mental waves up to the sound Hua. This is the pure green light of energy, the source, which represents the names of Allah and coincides with the 99 elements. Your Arabic word for cosmos is exist, and it has in parentheses be. All things are created in tones and octaves of energy and vibration from the source Hua, as I said before. And unless one mentions the name of Allah with his tongue and his heart, he will not be given the light and nur, which enters the heart and then is absorbed and dispersed to the rest of the body. And nur is the manifestation of the essence of Allah, which is called Ad.
Stop right there. Say that again and say it with your chest for these slow ass motherfuckers. Rewind that part.
Okay. And unless one mentions the names of Allah with his tongue and his heart, he will not be given the light and nur, which enters the heart and then is absorbed and dispersed to the rest of the body. And nur is the manifestation of the essence of Allah, which is called Ad. C-H-A-A-T.
Okay, it's the manifestation of what? What is Adadat? The manifestation of what, Balat?
The essence of Allah.
The essence of Allah. Stop right there. Now, the essence, which means would be in Allah, right? That which is in Allah, right? That which is in Allah is Ad-Adat, right?
Right.
Okay. Or the essence is basically, we can say, the genetic makeup of Allah is Ad-Adat. Now, my question is, what is Ad-Adat? Keep reading. Or who is Ad-Adat? Keep reading. Watch this.
This essence signifies that he is what he is. Ad-Adat are the things which are feminine, whatever they be, that had existed from eternity.
Stop right there. What the fuck is it again?
Ad-Adat are the things which are feminine, whatever they be, that had existed from eternity.
Now stop. Now, there is a thing called pre-creation. Anything that's pre-creation has already existed. You understand? That which already exists, and that is Ad-Hadat. And what is Ad-Hadat again? The feminine what?
All things which are feminine, whatever they be, that had existed from eternity.
Kuluwm. Let's go. Tell me more about this feminine chick.
Ad-Hadat is possessed by the who.
Stop. She's possessed by who?
The who. D-H-U-W, which is masculine.
She's possessed by what? Spell it.
D-H-U-W, the who, which is masculine.
Possessed by Duh. And who is Duh? He gonna tell your ass in a minute.
Duh is Hua, which is he. Hua is the presentation in the spirit from which comes the soul.
Stop. Stop. Break it down. Hammer time. Stop. Bring it back. Bring it back. Go back to Adat again. Get it in your head.
Adat is possessed by Ju, which is masculine.
Which is masculine.
Ju is Hua, which is he. Hua is the presentation in the spirit from which comes the soul. This is the spirit with personality or I. Hua, I'm. Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hua is which is he and which is and. Together they mean he and whatever else.
And whatever else. That mouth, he and whatever else, Duh or Hua is possessing Adat.
Adat.
Okay, let's go back to the Allah. Let's take it slow again. Balat on the Adat.
Adat
take it back to Allah, though. This is very important. Okay. Take it back to the Allah part about that Allah shit.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, let's rewind it one more time. Let's get it in our heads, you worshipers.
All things are created in tones and octaves of energy and vibration from the source Hua, as I said before. And unless one mentions the names of Allah with his tongue and his heart, he will not be given the light and nur, which enters the heart.
Wait a minute. Talk about this man mentioning something about the light or Allah and something about his heart. Rewind that part back.
Okay, you want me to go back to the top with Philip's question?
No, I want you to go back to the man mentioning Allah with his tongue and his heart.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And unless one mentions the name of Allah with his tongue and his heart, he will not be given the light and nur.
What does that mean? What is he saying there?
That you just can't say the words. You have to feel them. They have to come from your heart.
Right. So rewind it back to that sentence right before that part of the tongue and the heart and all of that.
Okay. All things are created in tones and octaves of energy and vibration from the source Hua, as I said before. And unless one mentions the names of Allah with his tongue and his heart, he will not be given the light and nur, which enters the heart and then is absorbed and dispersed to the rest of the body. And nur is the manifestation of the essence of Allah, which is called Adat. Essence signifies that he is what he is. Adat are the things which are feminine, whatever they be, that had existed from eternity. Adat is possessed by Du, which is masculine. Du is Hua, which is he. Hua is the presentation in the spirit from which comes the soul. This is the spirit with personality or I. Hua is, which is he, and which is and. Together, they mean he and whatever else. This is called Kutbayat, also known as the Ayin principle.
The Ayin principle.
The eye of the heart is the Kut, the active, which is symbolic of two hearts.
Okay. Where do we go from here?
You want to keep going? But I had a question.
Go ahead. What's your question?
Adat is possessed by Du,
Hua,
which is masculine. Du is Hua, which is he. Hua is the presentation in the spirit from which comes the soul. Okay, I'm not grasping that right now. Maybe it'll take a minute.
Okay, well, first, let's go back then. Let's go back to when he first explains to Bilal Phillips about the vibration of Allah and the pulsation of Allah in order to get it.
Okay. So he said, the Bilal said, Isa describes God as pulsating and vibrating. All things are created in tones of octaves of energy and of vibration. Just as there are octaves of musical notes, there are also octaves of tones. Between the 4th and 15th octave, the normal ear can hear sound. The one whose heart and mind is open can sometimes hear up to the 19th octave. Between the
19th octave, you know what that means, right? Whose ears and hearts are open. You know the 19th octave, right? In other words, most people can only hear what the fuck is right in their ear.
Here, right.
Like right in there. They can't hear distance.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They can probably hear outside. You know what I'm saying? If they're in the house, okay? But they can't hear the traffic 2 miles from the house. They can't hear horn blow. See, we can hear that dog barking right now, right? But that dog is probably either in goddamn Milledgeville, Georgia, or goddamn what is the crazy nigga name? Antichrist in Philadelphia. So we just heard that dog barking. That would be considered like distance in octaves from 19 or on into 72 to 84 octaves, like far. Like sometimes you can hear far.
Right.
And sometimes you can't. Like, as I explain this, there are times where you hear a song in your head. You think it's in your head. No, somebody is playing that song because sound travels. And that person has been playing that song in another state, and you can hear it. And all of a sudden, you got that song in your head. It came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Songs just don't pop up like that. Sound travels.
Okay, got it.
Okay, that's your 87, 72. Okay, where we at that? 18th octave? Let's go.
Okay, between the 25th and the 35th octaves, heat is then generated. The 49th octave produces light. Cosmic rays manifest when energy increases between the 72nd and the 84th octave level.
Okay, what octave produce light? At what number again? This is very important because we're about to get into the north.
Okay, cosmic rays manifest with
No,
energy.
no, that's not what I asked. What octave produce light?
Oh, I'm sorry. The 49th octave.
The 49th
produces light.
octave, because at one point it produced heat, and then on to the 49th octave, it starts to produce light, right?
Right, yes.
Okay, now at the 49th octave, what happens?
Cosmic rays manifest.
There we go.
With,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now you enter cosmic rays. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cosmic rays manifest when energy increases between the 74th and the 84th octave level. Beyond the cosmic rays, octaves lie, which produce emotional and mental waves up to the sound hua. This is the pure green light of energy, the source which represents the name of Allah and coincides with the 99 elements. Your Arabic word for cosmos is exist, be. Okay, so it's really no such thing as feelings in the way we interpret them. It's really just octave levels or energy and things of that nature that we are experiencing, but we're calling them feelings.
Well, feelings is a sense. It works on your senses.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Taste, hear, touch, feel, that type of shit. So most people operate on the sense of feelings, on what they feel. And all of that is based on vibration.
Okay. Maybe
you know what I'm saying? It goes right back to the octaves.
Okay. Understood. Okay. All things are created in tones and octaves of energy and vibration from the source, Hua, as I said before. And unless one mentions the names of Allah with his tongue and his heart, he will not be given the light and nur, which enters the heart.
Now stop now.
Then,
you see that? Did you repeat that? He will not be what?
Given the light.
And where is the light at on the octave?
The light is at the 49th octave.
At the 49th octave, which means that's why he always say you want to speed up your vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah. In order to get to that light, it don't matter whether you confess with your tongue or not. Allah, or the 99 attributes of Allah, doesn't matter. But you will have to speed up to that vibration to even get to the 49th octave where you can receive the light. That means you will have to heat up first.
You got to heat up.
Yeah, you got to heat up. Let's go. Okay, let's go back to the part. Unless the man, blah, 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 he will not receive the light.
Okay. And unless one mentions the names of Allah with his tongue and his heart, he will not be given the light.
And it doesn't matter because where he vibrates at, where his tones and vibration are based upon octaves levels. So it doesn't matter what the fuck a motherfucker say. If his tones is not reaching the octave of 49th and his vibratory level is not vibrating at the 49th, he still won't receive the light.
Okay.
He can't get to the electric power, to the cosmic ray side. That's where the cosmic rays kick in at.
Right.
Right? At what level does the cosmic rays kick in at? On the octave?
They manifest between the 72nd and the 84th octave level.
Right. And the nigga got to get to the 49th first.
Just to get the light. Yep.
Just to get the light and then to travel on to the next octave of the what? The 84th?
For the cosmic rays, between the 72nd and the 84th octave level.
Yes. And absolutely. And what else?
Okay.
Go back to the nigga can't get that light.
Okay. And unless one mentions the names of Allah with his tongue and his heart, he will not be given the light and nur, which enters the heart and then is absorbed and dispersed to the rest of the body.
You see that? Because that light is electrifying. So it starts to change the body and the heart, change the cells, all the way down to the cellular level. That light will come in and change its whole composition, transform them into a whole light being. You ain't got no choice but to be transformed at that point, motherfucker. If you can reach the 49th octave, what's next?
Wow. Okay. And Nur is the manifestation of the essence of Allah, which is called Adat. The essence
of Allah, which is called Adat. That's strong, ain't it?
Yes.
Say that part one more time.
And Nur is the manifestation of the essence of Allah, which is called Adat.
The manifestation, Nur. Is that what he's saying? Nur.
Yes.
The light.
And Nur. Yes.
Yeah, the light. Or this light. this light is the manifestation of Allah, right? Is the essence of Allah, which is the manifestation of Ad-Hadat. What did it say? What the fuck it say?
And Nur is the manifestation of the essence of Allah, which is called Adat. This essence signifies that He is what He is. Adat are the
so when a motherfucker gets to the point of Allah, notice that how he switched from He into Allah. See, Allah is not goddamn Allah. Allah raised up, a man or a female raised up to become Allah by reaching the 49th octave on up to the 72nd octave to the 84 to become Allah. Where at that point he reached the essence. He gets the essence at this point. Do you see how this shit go? Do you understand the steps that it takes to even be in Allah or to be called in Allah? Go back. Let's rewind it back to where homeboy has to be able to get there first, because this is where you become Allah.
And unless one mentions the names of Allah with his tongue and his heart, he will not be given the light and nur, which enters the heart and then is absorbed and dispersed to the rest of the body.
You see, man has to be transformed first at the 49th octave to even become this that coming up next, Allah.
Right.
Let's go.
And Nur is the manifestation of the essence of Allah, which is called Adat. This essence signifies that He is what He is. Adat are the things which are feminine, whatever they be, that had existed from eternity. Adat is possessed by Du, which is masculine. Du is Huwa, which is He. Huwa is the presentation in the spirit from which comes the soul. This is the spirit and personality or I. Huwa is which is He and which is and. Together they mean He and whatever else.
And whatever else.
This is called...
And once you get to the 84th or 72 on to the 84th or whatever around that, you become Allah. And at that point, the essence, the light is the manifestation of the essence of Allah. And that essence is Ad-Hadat.
Yes.
You see?
I get it.
But what happens there? That motherfucker get the spirit and the soul.
And the soul. Yep.
You see how this shit works? Go back to the right before the part, before the spirit and the soul pops up. For whoever reached this level.
Okay. Adat is possessed by Du, which is masculine. Du is Huwa, which is He. Huwa is the presentation in the spirit from which comes the soul. This is the spirit with personality or I. Huwa is which is He and which is and. Together they mean He and whatever else. This is called Kutbiyat, also known as the Ayn principle. The eye of the heart is the Kut, the axis, which is symbolic of two hearts. One, the heart which we know that expresses our sentiments and passions. Two, the inner heart, which is by far greater. It is an inverted heart that points back to Allah. Between it and the physical heart swings the pendulum of existence, surrounded by the 99 elements and the 99 names of Allah. El-Kut represents the chain reaction from the spark, which started the process of the spirit changing to the soul.
That's how you become a living soul and not just a living spirit.
Spirit,
once you get there. Rewind that part right back again about the equip.
El-Kut represents the chain reaction from the spark, which started the process of the spirit changing to the soul. This was and is the life, which becomes the link of the etheric tie. Thus, El-Kut represents the umbilical cord to He. This is why so many Sufis stay in constant dicker to Allah. This is one of the Sufi chants. O He who is, O He who is, O He whom no one knows what himself is, save himself. The Sufi knows that to praise Allah and worship will illuminate his spirit and help him to communicate with his inner senses. These are the things that you have no knowledge of, Bilal. This is why you question my teachings.
All right. That's why you question my teachings.
Okay, and then it goes on to another question.
Okay, we can stop there for 1 second, though. Anybody got any? I heard you say, Atun.
Oh,
is that you?
Yeah, Antichrist.
Oh, Antichrist. I should have known the devil would say, Okay. Why you say, Antichrist?
It was just kind of profound. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening. I'm like, okay. at the same time I'm trying to understand what that meant. So I'm just analyzing it.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so you're trying to make sense of it or understand it. That's why I like to go over it over again. Basically, we are not supposed to stay the same. When people say whatever you do don't change, you are supposed to change. Because the only way you will actually be Allah is that you have to raise up your vibrations. See, monotheistic gives us one God. Monotheistic religions is one God, right? But there are many Allahs, because we know that God is a plural word, more than one. So in order to raise your vibration, you can tell that the Sufis, as he mentioned, don't want to goddamn be a man in the order of Sufi their whole fucking life. They want to raise up to the 49th octave and receive the goddamn light, to move on to the 72nd octave, to the 84, to become Allah. Remember, the saying is, no man is greater than Allah.
I'm with you. Okay, I'm feeling that.
So you ain't nothing until you become Allah.
That's right. I'm feeling that.
You ain't shit. You then at that point inherit the 99 elements or the 99 names of Allah plus one. Absolutely. And the light nor possess your body. However, only Allah knows that the essence of Allah is the feminine, that which existed since eternity. And that Ad-Hadat is possessed by Hua. So when they say Allah or Hua, he who is who he is, they've just reached Ad-Hadat. Because that's the only way they can possess it. That's the only way they can become Allah. And he is in her, as it is said. He possessed her. He possessed Ad-Hadat, Duh, or Hua. Strong, ain't it?
Yes.
That's powerful. That's why he starts off with saying, exist. Right? Kun Fa-Kun, exist.
Right.
Be. The only way that you can speak something into existence like that, unless you are Allah. You just speak that shit and it happens. It exists. Because now it is wrapped by Ad-Hadat, who is possessed with Hua. Be, and it will be. That's strong, ain't it?
Yes. Real strong. Wow.
Which is the feminine what? It's the feminine what? What the fuck that is? The feminine of what?
Hold on one second. Okay, Adat are the things which are feminine, whatever they be, that had existed from eternity.
Whatever they may be that have existed from eternity.
Pre-creation, like you mentioned before.
Pre-creation, which means it already was here. It already existed. In order for you to create something, you have to take something that has already been here to create it. And that's the feminine. Ad-Hadat are the things which are feminine, that's been here or existed from eternity. That's strong right there, ain't it?
That's strong. Hell yeah.
How did we end up getting on this? Oh, I know how we got on this topic. Because like I said, it wouldn't surprise me that the 24 elders, be it all 24 or be it 6 of them or be it 1 of them, would take the seat as a female.
Right.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I understand the initiation process. Because everybody is tested and tried and tested and tried it. Now let me explain why I say everybody. Because the 24 elders does not stand on one foot.
Right.
They ain't using one side of their fucking brain. Like, let me goddamn initiate nothing other than men. They ain't fucking stupid. You understand? They ain't about my brother's keepers. They gotta make sure they cover all sides, all angles, if they are angels. They don't just they don't just use one hand, they use both hands. That's why all of them is tested. Male and female is tested and tried and tested and tried. And whoever is proven worthy at that point, they take the seat of one of the 24 elders.
It's been going on. People have been getting killed all the time. That's nothing new.
But I'm asking you one question. If you don't face the fact of reality that something bad is getting ready to happen, something is real bad getting ready to take place, something is going to happen very soon, you know, we're living in that something.
It record? Yes, Lord.
They should take it this time.
Look, hey, if you got a problem, I'm pulling up. Strap. Big booty bitch and I'm pulling on. Track. I play with them words, I play with them birds. I'm really that. I'm stating facts.
Listen, man, it's not bad shit is going to happen. I don't understand why people don't get into the science of the plane of force, the laws of attraction. These things are happening because there are beings that vibrate on a very low vibratory level, frequency, where they are magnetizing misfortune to them. You know what I'm saying? Because they are controlled by the plane of force on a very low vibratory frequency, and they refuse to raise up. They refuse to look at the handwriting on the wall in their own life, in their own house, in their own community.
Man, if you got a problem, I'm pulling up. Big booty bitch and I'm pulling on. I play with them words, I play with them birds. I'm really that. I'm stating facts.
If in fact, when there is death, there can be no life. Look at Chicago. There was 20 motherfuckers dying every fucking week, and people were still there waiting to die next. They don't know when to pick up and go, and all of them say they are Christians, and all of them know about the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. So even this is your God at work destroying them motherfuckers. Can I find one good person and I will save this city? So everybody is waiting until they the next motherfucker to get a gun in their goddamn city. So what is wrong with the people today? He said people just don't think. That's all. They don't think. They don't think until it happens to them. The same thing, and my dad got a testimony. He lived in a bad fucking neighborhood, hearing everything about what's going on in it. My mom had a bullet shot right through her fucking wall where she was laying in the bed. Something told her to get up. The bullet hit the damn pillow.
If you got a problem, I'm pulling up. Big booty bitch and I'm pulling on. I play with them words, I play with them birds. I'm really that. I'm stating facts.
Even when I lived there, it was 2 bodies found in a trunk in that car when I stayed there. And they still stayed. After all of that. My father and my mom's house doors got kicked in. They got robbed. His gun was taken. They still stayed. The only reason why they are not there now, because 2-3 months ago, my father was held by gunpoint by 3 men, laid him out, made him roll underneath a fucking truck, and they steal the car, steal every goddamn thing, and now they finally moved out. Then they said, oh, it's time to go. So they don't follow the dominoes. This is what happens. This is what happens in Chicago. This is what happens every day. In my life, when I stayed with that man I was married to from 20 to 25 years, the neighborhood started to get bad. My car was broken into several fucking times. A friend of mine's body is found behind of a goddamn dumpster, and I begged that nigga that I have 2 children by, we gotta get the fuck out of here. There's some handwriting on the wall before it happens to us. But I don't control the money. I don't control 8 hours a day working. I don't have no fucking power when it's time to fucking move, where we can just get up and go and just count the money and buy a place that's safer, where there is no crime yet, where there is no hatred yet, where there is no death yet, where the police don't frequent the streets yet. People don't take heed to that. They just don't fucking think, because it didn't happen to them. Until it happens to them, then they ready to go. And the problem is, again, you don't want it to happen to you, so you pay attention what happens in your environment, because those are the signs from the Most High. And I would never forsake you. I will never you will always know when it's time to go. You will always know. It's not a motherfucker on this goddamn planet. They ain't never heard the voice say, get up and goddamn go, get the fuck out of here. But they just don't listen.
If you got a problem, I'm pulling up. Big booty bitch and I'm pulling on. I play with them words, I play with them birds. I'm really that. I'm stating facts.
But they just don't listen. They don't goddamn think until something fucked up happens to them personally. Not their children, they'll still stay there. Not their wife, they'll still stay there, right, Daddy? You still stay there. And all you did was patched up the fucking hole in the wall that the bullet came through. But 3 years later, when it happened to you, y'all was out of that motherfucking 2 goddamn months about that shit. That's what the fuck the issue is. That's what it is. It's not random. It's ignorance. They wait. They wait because they want something. In the order of Melchizedek, it said that there are some motherfuckers that they have to choke, give them a hard choke for them to get the fuck out of somewhere or change their goddamn life. They got to put them in fucked up situations because they don't want to do it before hell or the four winds falls on them. They don't know how to get out of something before, you know what I'm saying, while the rainbow is still in the sky. The rainbow is in the sky, you hear a voice say, get the fuck out, stop looking at the rainbow mountain. So many people would never leave. They would still be like, oh my God, look at the rainbow, it's so beautiful. And they hear the voice say, but it's time to get the fuck from underneath the goddamn rainbow, some shit about to fall out that bitch. No, I just want to stay and just be right here. They give us these warnings. They give us everything. They never fucking tell us. I'm telling you, if people just don't pay attention. They just don't think. They always wait until the shoe is on their foot. I don't wait until the shoe is on my foot. When I start seeing it with people around me, I get away from them. You know what I'm saying? When they'll start coming around, motherfuckers, my association, it's time for me to shut them the fuck off because goddamn, I'm in the line with the domino. So you gotta just think, get the fuck out the line because it's coming next. So that's the answer. What's wrong with the people today? People just don't fucking think. And like you said, what happens to you is because you want it to happen. It's your fault. When bad shit happen, it's your fault. When good shit happens, it's the Most High.
He said it's truth is truth.
I'm thinking facts.
Are you speaking solely of Jesus Christ? Title of who he is.
Jesus Christ. I'm talking about Jesus, who is known as Yeshua Isa. Don't get it mixed up with the Christ doctrine. Because there are two other Christs. You understand? Okay. Don't get it mixed up with him. Because the real one that you're talking about is Yeshua Isa in the El Holy Quran. That is the real one.
It record? Yes, Lord.
They should take it to test. Look, man. If you got a problem, I'm pulling up. Strap. Big booty bitch and I'm pulling on. Strap. I play with them words, I play with them birds. I'm really that. I'm thinking facts.
If I may add, it's Isa. It's not Yeshua. He asked about Melchizedek. The only reason why a lot of people don't know that Melchizedek is actually in the Quran, whether it's the Yusuf Ali version or the right translation by Dr. Malachi Z. York, is you'll find El Kitter is another name for Melchizedek. That's the El Kitter that walked with Moses. So there's a story of El Kitter, who's also known as Melchizedek or Melchizedek. That's the answer to your question. Is
if you got a problem, I'm pulling up. Big booty bitch and I'm pulling on. I play with them words, I play with them birds. I'm really that. I'm thinking facts.
El Kitter is in the Quran, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. El Kitter is all the Muslims around the world knows him as El Kitter. Melchizedek, that's a Hebrew name. And of course, Arabic came from Hebrew. That's why the word Allah or Allahum, or matter of fact, El Alayu, is an Arabic word which was taken from the Hebrew, which is Elyon, El. That's Hebrew. So, you know what I'm saying? Elyon, it was taken from Hebrew as Elyon, El.
I'm saying facts.
But we can get knowledge. That's why I call into the show, because regardless of what I think, I'm faced with Islamic teaching, and I'm also faced with Hebrew teaching, and I can't get the two connected because I'm seeing the bickering or the struggle of we're right and you're wrong.
It record? Yes, Lord.
They should take it to test. Look, man. If you got a problem, I'm pulling up. Strap. Big booty bitch and I'm pulling on. Strap. I play with them words, I play with them birds. I'm really that. I'm thinking facts.
You have to tie the two, because the issue is dealing with Abraham first. Abraham, Mila Ibrahim. Combine the two, you are an Islamic Hebrew at that time. But you have to understand how it all in sync with Abraham all the way back to the Prophet Adam. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll see it. You'll be able to connect the two. There is bickering only because no one was able to trace, you know what I'm saying, Islam to Hebrew and Hebrew to Mila Ibrahim. You know what I'm saying?
If you got a problem, I'm pulling up. Big booty bitch and I'm pulling on. I play with them words, I play with them birds. I'm really that. I'm thinking facts.
As a Hebrew, I got a connection because of Ishmael. But where is Ishmael in the Middle East? Are those the Moors we're talking about? I believe it is. I believe the Moors are the true descendants of Ishmael and Hagar, because Hagar is the mother of Ishmael. So her offsprings will also be considered. But did the Chaldeans conquer to servitude, which created the Moors, which are considered our army fighting Islamic today as Islamic fighters?
I'm saying facts.
Islam is different. Those are Mohammedans. That's not Al-Islam. Those people that's over there fighting, they are Mohammedans. Like over here, they are Christians. You know what I'm saying? That's not Islam. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Because Islam itself means peace. These are Mohammedans. They are the ones that's creating the war of good and evil. And it's based on Christians versus Mohammedans. This is all this shit is about. Not Yahshua way of life, neither Muhammad way of life. This is their own way of life. This is all governed by what you call the Pope today, the Catholic Church. Because, you know what I'm saying? Because Islam, or what is known as Islam today, is Catholicism. Christianity is Catholicism. Paul was their first foundation. And of course, Muhammad's first wife, Khadijah, was a Catholic nun. You know what I'm saying? And that's why all of their Islamic temples or Muslim temples, you know what I'm saying, is called a mosque, which is the same name that they give the Catholic Church, a mosque. This is nothing more than it's like a bunch of kids fighting over the same thing. They got the same information. Right. They cannot connect it. Yeah. Religion brings separatism because people just don't think.
I'm saying facts.
So if the Christians took the time to read the Quran, they would see there's a whole chapter of Mary in there. You understand? You see what I'm saying? Jesus never said he was the Son of God if they read the red letters and not Paul. Jesus never said he was the Son of God. Neither did he say he was the Son of Man. By the time they was asking Jesus what would happen, his disciples, what will happen, show us the things that will happen about, you know, he said, upon this rock, I will build my church and all this other type of stuff, and no stone should be left unturned. And then he told his disciples to look for the Son of Man. So Jesus was never the Son of Man. And by the time it was time for him to go up against Pontius Pilate and all the rest of them, they questioned him about being the Son of God. Jesus never walked around, never said out his own mouth he was the Son of Man or the Son of God. That's why when they asked him in that court, they said, nigga, are you saying you the Son of God? He said, no, you're saying that I'm the Son of God. I've never said that. And whoever told you that, you obviously must believe it because you asking me about it today.
Yeah,
so he never claimed to either be the Son of God nor the Son of Man.
I'm saying facts.
Why did the Hebrews form alliance with God's enemies? Because in the scriptures, the Chaldeans and the Palestinians is God's enemy. And that would be them also teaching Islam to me. That's why I'm sticking with it.
Okay, can I claim something? You familiar with the fact that Muhammad made an Isra? He made an Isra to where? He made an Isra to El. He made an Isra to Allah, right? Which is El. Jesus said Eli, but he made an Isra to El, which made him an Israel. Mm-hmm. Jacob did the same thing. Remember Jacob's ladder? Jacob climbed that ladder, or he saw that ladder. He rolled, he went up. They named him Israel after they took his name Jacob away from him. They named him Israel.
Now, this is how I understand
Muhammad is a Hebrew. Muhammad was a Hebrew.
That's the trick right there.
Muhammad was a Hebrew. Muhammad made an Isra to El.
Because my understanding, his teaching started running rapidly in the Middle East, and at the time, the government was not Islamic, and they seeked his life, so he found refuge with the Israelites. That is the story and the movies that is out today. So
he found refuge with the original Hebrews, which were the Ethiopians, the Falasha, the original Hebrews. That's where he made his journey to Ethiopia. Remember, and after he left Ethiopia, he was dressed in white. Because those Hebrews, those Falasha, the so-called country of Israel, has been shipping over to Israel to blend into that blood. Remember, they've been shipping those Ethiopians out of there and bringing them to Israel, so they mix in and bind in with that blood, that real Hebrew blood. That's where Muhammad went to get the teachings, to get the information tied in together.
So we can technically say, by theory, he is a Palestinian having refuge in a African nation known as a Hebrew culture, but then went back to the Chaldeans and Palestinians and taught his message.
Dressed
So he
in
is
white.
a Palestinian.
Dressed in white.
It record? Yes, Lord.
Look, man, if you got a problem, I'm pulling up. Strap. Big booty bitch and I'm pulling on. Strap. I play with them words, I play with them birds. I'm really that. I'm stating facts.
First, let's get it clear about how the Palestinians came about. If you go to Genesis chapter 10, verse 6, it shows you, it says, in the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. And the only thing that we're going to be concerned here with in Genesis chapter 10 here is the son Mizraim first, because the Bible translated Mizraim as an Egyptian, if you look at it, and translated Cush as an Ethiopian. It translated Put as a Libyan, and doesn't bother to translate Canaan. So it was the Mizraimites who originated with Noah in the Persian Gulf. And if the Bible story is true, and Noah was a direct descendant from Adam, and they were dwelling in the Middle East, then in order for Mizraim to be an Egyptian, the Mizraimites would have migrated westward, just as in order of Cush to be Ethiopian, which is in Africa. They would have migrated westward. And the same applied in order for Put to be Libyan, which is also in Africa. I repeat that Ethiopia, Libya, and Egypt are in the continent of Africa. The biblical society try to make it appear that Ethiopia, Libya, and Egypt are on separate continents. So the descendants of Mizraim were Lydia, Anna, Lehab, Napatu, Patharum, Casluhim, that's in Genesis 10:13, out of who came the Palestinians, or the Palestine. So which are your Palestinians of Palestine today? Your Palestinians of Palestine today. However, they are mixed with European type Arabs from Turkey. That's the only thing. Talking about a mixture that took place in the biblical geography of the Egyptians they originated in Genesis chapter 10, verse 6 as the sons of Ham, which means burnt black. So everybody at that time that were called Palestinians or Palestinians at that time, they were black. Jet fucking black, burnt black is what the Bible described them motherfuckers as. What you're looking at today is tail Arabs or the Turkey motherfuckers coming in, like Doc just said, taking the Ethiopians, mixing it, you know what I'm saying, 600 something fucking years ago, or probably 1,000 years ago, and bleaching Palestine. Bleaching, you know what I'm saying, Noah's bloodline of Mizraim. That's where it all starts from, Sugar Pile.
You are right.
If you got a problem, I'm pulling up. Big booty bitch and I'm pulling on. I play with them words, I play with them birds. I'm really that. I'm stating facts.
Members of Congress expressed optimism Sunday about the prospects for reaching a deal to avoid the fiscal cliff.
Fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is entering its third full day, and both Israelis and Palestinians.
Bottom line, Senator, if the president nominates Ambassador Rice to be the next Secretary of State or some other
supplementary question, do you personally believe that gay people are born gay?
Impact segment tonight, the Talking Points memo.
Hot damn politics.
Hot damn politics.
Hot damn politics.
Hot damn politics.
What you say?
Politics.
Hot damn.
Oh, man,
hot
damn
politics.
Hot diggity damn politics. Hot diggity damn politics.
I'm back now with the Brain Trust panel.
Brain Trust panel.
These niggas won't hold me back. 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 These niggas won't hold me back.
The Brain Trust panel.
Brain Trust panel.
Hot diggity damn politics.
I put that shit on everything.
Hot damn politics. Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Only on WGAG Radio.
You catch my girl legs open, better smash that. Don't be surprised surprised if she asks where the cash at.
Let's talk about what they don't want you to talk about.
On the Nicoleone Show, Blog Talk Radio, Monday through Friday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, or GeorgiaGospel.com.
WGAG Radio.
What goes around comes back around. Hey, my baby. What goes around comes back around. Hey, my baby. Say what goes around comes back around. Hey, my baby. What goes around.
Mystical teacher sat by the seaside. It was about 5 o'clock because we heard the free ride. Anyway, the teacher was talking in stride, sitting upon a rock that was wide and warning against false pride. Come to where I reside, a woman cried, and the teacher replied, do you serve your fish fried? Yes, she replied, with potato salad on the side. And the teacher replied, well, where do you reside? She said, up on the hillside, it's not a far ride. If you came to have dinner, I would be so gratified. The teacher replied, is 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock? You decide. She replied, 7 o'clock, do you like stir fries? She was mystified and felt so dignified. The teacher was coming to the house where she resides, so she purified with pesticides, calling her friends up nationwide. Some of her friends were tongue-tied. They felt so glorified. She made steamed fish, baked fish, fish that was fried, soup, steamed vegetables, potato salad on the side. You could smell the bread in the oven far and wide. Natural juices and water purified. Organic fruits brought from the countryside. With silver forks and knives placed side by side. You could not be dissatisfied. Looking out the window, staring at the mountainside, you would have died. 6:59, she's swollen with pride. As the moment intensified, there's a knock from outside. She opens the door, for the teacher has arrived. But to her surprise, it was the bomb who cried, please, I smelt the bread from outside. One piece. And then she replied, the teacher is coming. He's soon to have arrived. You're making me look bad. Come on now, step aside. The bomb then replied, when I say I'm hungry, I haven't lied. Give me some of that chicken that you just fried. She replied, chicken fried? No, that's for the teacher. You're not purified. Then she slammed the door and went back inside. Sat on the couch with the TV guide. She looked at the clock. It was 7:09, then 7:30. He still hasn't arrived. 8 o'clock, she was on the downside. 9 o'clock, by now she's teary-eyed. She pissed off and her anger multiplied. She cried, then fell asleep dissatisfied. Next day, she woke up and was preoccupied with meeting the mystical teacher who lied. Where could he hide? She ran down by the seaside. He was there teaching about false pride. You lied, she replied. You lied. You said you would be there at 7 o'clock. You lied. He replied, no, I have not lied. I came at 6:59 and you told me to move aside. I asked for bread and chicken that was fried, and you said that I wasn't purified. She replied, I wasn't notified. I had no idea that you was the bomb that cried. And the teacher sighed, then replied, this concludes our lesson on false pride.
The baddest bitch in El Kuluwm. Brings absolute.
Understand me now. It's sometimes.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Dawn Nicoleone Show.
Oh, yeah. Y'all already know what time it is. The moment that you've been waiting for. The one that you've been waiting to hear. The one that calls the call, that calls the effect. Put your hands together for the baddest bitch in El Kuluwm. God, Nicoleone.
Kuluwm, I'm in the love of the all, and all love is in me. I am a part of the all, and the all is a part of me. I am one with the all, and the all is one with me. I can succeed as a part of the all and fail as an individual. I can be all that I wish in the all as long as my wish is to stay in the all. I'm never alone. The all is, I am. The all can, I can. The all does, I do. Kuluwm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Don Nicoleone Show. Hope y'all enjoyed that first hour, goddamn. The Don Nicoleone show, baby, man. Ooh, I want to show y'all something, but I don't really want to show y'all something because then it's not really me showing y'all something. It's actually y'all hearing something, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Oh, thank you, Zena, because I'm like, man, this ain't enough facts for this right here, that first link, but it's a good link. But thank you, baby. Hey, Zena, what do I do without you? Huh? Tell me that. Wait, girl, go check again. They're talking about a light, the wood, the stove to start to prepare dinner and shit. Oh, yeah, my bad. This is fucking Colombia. Franca, 38 of the youngest. Okay. All right, this is how they came up with it. Damn, this shit long as fuck. Goddamn, motherfuckers cooking chicken and shit. How the fuck you took your time to read all this shit? Zena, why are you not a... Never mind, you already are. I'm tripping. You don't need the white man verification. You already are. Okay, so, this is going to be a... Anybody hear the Don Nicoleone show yesterday? September 8th. Is the day the 8th? Yeah. Anybody hear the Don Nicoleone show yesterday? Nah. Girl, nah. Well, Zena didn't hear the show. But Zena heard the show today. Okay? Zena heard the Don Nicoleone show yesterday, today. Okay? This bitch here. What else she got? This bitch here. She was like, whoa, bitch. All that shit you was motherfucking saying on that goddamn show about that XY chromosome and man, bitch. They done did some motherfucking goddamn research on that shit, all that shit. Basically saying, girl, you right with no hands, bitch. Get it? That's like kind of like RIGHT and WRITE. You're right with no hands, like, like kind of. That was kind of cool. That was great. Okay, never mind. Great day, everybody. Welcome to the Don Nicoleone show. One time for all my peoples over there on the call lines, man. You need to call in. Number is 425-569-5274. Again, call in number before we go into overtime. That's at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But the call in number is 425-569-5274. Our home base is blogtalkradio.com/WGAG-radio. So that'll always let you know we live, even if goddamn YouTube ban us, destroy us, terminate our page, and all that fucking shit. We still do it there. So, gotta show some love to all my niggas over there in the after party. Great day, Bingy G. Hope all is well with you. Great day, C9 him. C9 him went to the back door. That motherfucker went across the goddamn street. Goddamn, waited on the light to turn, the little walk sign. Put the little symbol up, cross the damn street, turned the block, end up on YouTube, and was like, hey, ain't no sound in the after party. This motherfucker here. You can tell he's not a lazy nigga. He is not a lazy nigga. That nigga went all the way to goddamn, that nigga walked all the way to YouTube, to the prison, the lockdown radio, waited, got checked in, got patted down, had to throw his ID in the bowl and shit, walked through the metal detectors and shit. Nigga went through it all just to get the goddamn lockdown radio and tell us wasn't no sound in the after party. That's just so cute. I bet that motherfucker was like, damn, I don't feel like doing this shit, but let me take this walk. Goddamn, I'm gonna be on no goddamn lockdown radio with the rest of these motherfuckers, man. After party. After party where the free niggas at. Niggas got their freedom. Look here. Great day, a sweet Oshun. Hope all is well with you, baby. How you doing today? Gotta show some love to my girl, She-Doc, Doc Mechanic, also in the after party. Iwana Shanae, great day, babe. Special shout out also to I am Brian _3. Great day to you. Great day to Nefertiti surviving the game. It's hot damn politics tonight at 9 o'clock with Nefertiti surviving the game. Get it in. Y'all know that shit be dangerous, man, when they come together on the Wednesday goddamn night. Hot damn politics, boy, when I tell you, they pull them out. Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. It's hard to yell with the barrels in your mouth. God damn, man, y'all be locked and loaded on that hot damn politics, man. Great day, Sister X once again. Zena in the building. Let me cross this damn street like See Him did and shit. I gotta cross the street, wait for the light to turn, give me the sign. I can walk right across the highway and shit. Let me go to lockdown, prison, Department of Corrections, cross the street to goddamn. Okay, there it is, walk in. Hey, pat me down, put my ID, cross the street. All right, shout out to all my niggas over there on Lockdown Radio. And you know what? I think that today might be the day we get out of jail. See him? Today, oh, now he visits. Now come think about it. His last day, he want to show up in Lockdown Radio and shit. But today might be the day that we get out of prison. Great day, Nick Bear. How you doing? Get out of Lockdown Radio. We go back home to Kuluwm Radio. So, yeah, right? What you mean shrugs, Nick Bear? Shrug mean you just threw your shoulders up. Is that a shrug? Like, I don't know. I'm wearing a shrug. Like, you know, is that when your shoulders go up and down? Yeah, so, yeah, man, I guess we all get released, man, today. Yeah, so I think we get released today. So, I'm scared to play hot damn politics on Kuluwm Radio tonight. Les Neff promised me she'll be on her good behavior, you know what I'm saying, and be a good listener to her callers. So she can be like, wait a minute, we can't talk about that unless you exchange words for other words and shit like that. You got to code talk. It's a motherfucker, ain't this a bitch? We on the Underground Railroad ass nigger conversation. Do you know that's exactly, they said how the slaves had to talk to each other in code and sing like way in the water. That was one of the, that was a conversation, communication, so that the white man would know what the fuck, and also that other nigga that's reporting shit back to the crackers wouldn't know what they talking about. This nigga started singing the damn song because he like it like a dumbass. But those were ways of communicating. Did y'all know that shit? Yeah, they would sing a song in ways of communicating in secrecy in public, though. So when they say way in the water, God's gonna trouble the water, basically saying we gonna meet at the water. Everybody gonna meet at the water at a certain goddamn time, and we gonna goddamn come together and figure this shit out and get the fuck out this motherfucker's life. It was them songs like that. Did you know that? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? You got a cold talk around this motherfucker. You got to sing a song or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Look at Neff. I actually like the fact that there was no streaming. We know. The younger Don earlier this week or last week mentioned that, Neff. Yeah, I ain't gonna need front. The younger Don said, younger Don, because Neff said, oh, I'm so glad we ain't streaming on. She was like, I'm so glad we ain't streaming on fucking YouTube because now I'm about to fucking say what I motherfucking say around this bitch. But you can still say what you want to say, man, but you got to be smooth about that shit. But y'all ain't that smooth. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all don't come from Brenda Pussy. Y'all come from Brenda Pussy. I grew up around women that talked in codes. They was spelling their words out and shit. That's only around us, around women and shit, around children. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget. My mom would be like, yeah, I'm in the back seat, the other bitch in the front seat, her little friend. She started spelling words out. And it was the first words that she would always spell out was Money. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess I couldn't spell yet. But I just remember the letters, Money. So that bitch would be talking to the hoe in the front seat. So one of her hoe ass friends, they was like, yeah, I called such and such. You know what I'm saying? I asked him for some Money. He told me to meet him at the SHOP. No, it's actually the juke joint. So she was like at the juke joint and came up there and he gave me the Money and shit like that. Like she just spelled that shit. It was just spelling shit out, talking in codes and shit. All right, man. That's it. Hey. And when you don't want a motherfucker to know what your right hand, left hand doing around this bitch. So, talking codes, man, we just getting out of jail. Goddamn, probably Probably be out of jail now, probably 12 midnight, knowing they ass. They should be having like a time on that bitch. Yeah. Like if I go to El Kuluwm right now and try to set up a show, or shit'll pop up and be like, you can't, bitch. And then I have to find the link or whatever the fuck it is, and it say, nah, ho, you get out today, but we ain't gonna release your ass until 8 hours and 47 minutes and 12 seconds. So, you know, get out. Like, what the fuck? So they count the seconds and the minutes and the hours of the day you're supposed to get out, man. It's a countdown. So I don't know when we get out. However, El Kuluwm definitely radio is, what's the tomorrow? Thursday. Just in case. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, like, what time we get out of jail. What time they gonna release our ass on a Wednesday? Might be 12 midnight we get out of prison and shit, man. This a motherfucker. Anyway, great day, Neff. Hope all is well with you, though, baby. Woo! I'm tired than a motherfucker, man. I got my new toy. Proud of it. Just want to put on record. What's your new toy? Thank you for asking. Y'all so concerned. Actually, it's a treadmill, motherfucker. Cause I gave Twank my other one, the what's it called? Under desk treadmill. It don't have a handle or no shit like that. It's just the bed itself, the treadmill itself. I gave that to her before I went to Florida. And she finally decided to order me another one. And it came today. And I'm like, man, this is the goddamn life. This is the fucking life, man. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand when you want to do damn near 5 things at one time. And let's say exercising ain't one of them. You need an under desk treadmill. You know what I'm saying? So you can down and walking, or cause it goes up to 4 miles per hour, so you can get a really good jog in too. You know what I'm saying? Really good cardio, and it just don't do incline. But anyway, so man, I had a great hour. You know what I'm saying? Great hour. Even I didn't get my workout in yet. I gotta get my workout in right after this fucking show is over. But it was a great hour of as a matter of fact, it took me 30 minutes to put the bitch, get the shit out the box and fight for the motherfucker and put the motherfucker halfway. It took a minute. This shit was a motherfucker. But by the time I was ready now, by the time I finally set that bitch up, walked the box outside and all that goddamn stupid ass shit, got on that motherfucker, was like 12:30, about 12:30, 30 minutes into the first hour and shit. And man, I was like, man, this is the goddamn life. This is the fucking life. Instead of sitting on my goddamn ass in front of a fucking computer. So I did about 30 minutes before I just went live. That's not a lot of minutes in walking, though, but I still got a lot of shit done, you know what I'm saying, promote the show. That's what I was talking to you on, Zena. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got that treadmill, man. It's on the popping now. Shit. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to get my son and shit, but at nighttime, man, when you got a whole nother bad habit traits at nighttime like my ass do, boy, I got to be on the treadmill indulging in my bad habits. That's all. Meaning, I don't think they bad habits, though, but you're a fucking goddamn computer goddamn motherfucker, man. You need a goddamn treadmill instead of a damn chair, I'll be in that motherfucker. Girl, you understand that? What the fuck? They don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about, boo. They don't understand. They don't understand. I can't do the elliptical, Sweet Ocean, because I got so much work I got to do, so I have to put it on the desk. You got me? I'm lying about so much work I got to do, but to me, everything is work. So, like playing video game for 4 hours and shit. So I need to be on the treadmill playing that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you, man, the treadmill desk is way better than the elliptical. You know what I'm saying? If you have to be at the desk, I done recorded songs. I done did so much shit on the treadmill, smoking them fucking cigarettes on the computer at the same damn time. And they're right, Zena. Goddamn shit. Well, I mean, so you can still walk and get your miles in, because walk as if your life depends on it, because it does. You know what I'm saying? Shit. So I'm just so glad, man, because you got to imagine Don Nicoleone these past, since April, since I got to Florida, I either walk the streets, try to make sure I walk the streets if it ain't raining in the daytime. And if I don't actually feel like getting dressed, I will walk around a fucking table till I get to 5 fucking miles. Just a goddamn table over and over and over and over and over and over again. And you know what I'm saying? Till I did at least 5 miles. Just walking around in a damn circle, man. So now I can just walk in place, smoke my cigarette, play my video game, or watch a fucking movie on the treadmill, smoke my cigarette, drink my juice, watch a movie, still getting my walk in, still getting it in. So yeah, I only was doing 10 miles a day. I think I only did, since I've been in this house, I think I only did 10 miles a day, probably like 4 times since I've been here. I think I've been here in this house for about 2 months now. So I think I only did it, but I'm about to get back up on that 10. Yeah, because I got that treadmill, got my little video games, got my cigarette, got my hot sauce, got my white girl. It's on the popping around this bitch now. I'm so happy, motherfucker. You feel me? So happy, man. Can you imagine, man? Man, I can eat a goddamn steak on the treadmill now. Goddamn, still burning. I want to still be burning calories while I'm eating, smoking, drinking. Body still moving. Goddamn, eat some turkey legs. Motherfucker, I'm so happy about that. Y'all don't understand. Bitch been sitting. You know what I'm saying? But my desk sweeto shoe, I can roll up. I can, I got the stand steady desk. Go look it up. Stand steady desk. And you can roll it all the way up to about 6 feet. And you can roll it all the way down to like a regular table or a desk. You know what I'm saying? So when I be sitting so long, I roll the bitch up. I roll it all the way up, grab my step machine and put it underneath the desk, and of course I play my game on the step machine, and while I'm playing my game, smoke a cigarette, I'm on the little step. You know the step machine. You ever seen the step machine? It's just some shit you pick up. You got pedals on it. You feel me? Like not like bike pedals, but like elliptical pedals. You know what I'm saying? Like the foot pedals on the elliptical sweeto shoes. This shit heavy than a motherfucker though. Well, it ain't heavy no more since I've been doing, since I've been bodybuilding. It used to be heavy as fuck. But now that I'm bodybuilding, I got to put that on record. I can pick that motherfucker up, feel like it's just goddamn 2 ounces. But I put it underneath the desk once I raise it up. So, and then go back, then just be stepping. You know what I'm saying? So I've done 10 miles on that step machine. Playing video games, smoke cigarettes and shit like that, listening to music. But video games keep me focused while I'm working out, in a sense, while I'm still keeping the body active. That's why. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So, but yeah, the stand steady desk. A chick I know works from home has one under her desk. Yeah. Stand steady desk. But as long as, if you into computers and shit like that or whatever you do, if you spend most of your time on computers and stuff like that and playing games, I think that's great. Or working and it don't matter what it is though, but to get it in. Another thing I'm proud of myself yesterday, man, I did not want to work out now. Man, I did not want to work out at all. I don't know what happened to me after the show. I was like, man, fuck that shit. Man, I ain't working out. Next thing, I know, Neff, you hear me playing 2 episodes of Titans. I'm sitting there. I done ordered Golden Crust. Ain't it called Golden Crust and Jamaican motherfuckers? I ordered 2 plates of oxtails with vegetables. Yep, Don did. And sat there and just only ate the oxtails. Ate a few vegetables because I don't like cabbage. And sat there and watched that shit. Next thing I know, it's around 10 o'clock. Look at Nick Bet. Around 10 at night. And I'm so glad sometimes I'm placed under hypnotic spell. Next thing I know, bitch, I was motherfucking doing push-ups, tricep dips, and ins and out, and up and downs. I was doing up and downs, 5 rounds, dead ab, plank walk-ins, shoulder taps, hold the fucking plank, 5 rounds of that, then goddamn hit cardio, 5 rounds of burpees, 5 rounds of squat jumps, and running for 30 seconds, 5 fucking times. And when I was almost finished, right, I heard a voice say, "You gonna really be able to celebrate after this." That's when I actually woke up out that daze. When I heard the voice say, "You gonna celebrate after this." That's what the fuck the voice said. After you finish this, you can celebrate. And I finally got a better understanding what celebration is. Doing something you don't want to fucking do, but you know it's the best thing to fucking do for you. And you don't want to fucking do it, and something outside force or some shit makes you fucking do that shit. And I didn't even know it. I just got up. Bitch, I done ate 2, Nick Bet, bitch, this whole done ate 2 goddamn styrofoam to go of goddamn oxtail, bitch. And I already knew there's no coming back from this tonight. Like, there is no coming back from this shit. Like, I already fucking knew. That's the end right there. I'm about to wake up and be pissed off in the new day and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Nick Bet, like that. I'm like, what the fuck, girl? I got up. Something lured me to put on my little goddamn band around my stomach and shit, my gloves and shit. And girl, I'm just like fucking I'm hypnotized. God damn. I heard a voice say, "Just go slow. Fuck it. You just take your motherfucking time." But I always set the clock to see how long it take, even if I'm slow or fast or dragging on that bitch. I dragged all through it. However, I was finished in 55 minutes. Even with a phone call. Even with forgetting what the fuck I was doing. I done forgot so many times what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? What the fuck? What round I'm on? God damn. But here's the interesting thing. Want to hear a ghost story? In the meantime, or in between that shit, ghost story, right? So I don't know why, but I felt my dad. I was it must have been his ass that got me up and did all this shit, because I felt my father, and I think I was just getting up from a plank walk-in, and I stopped and I spoke out loud, and I was like, "Where the fuck are you?" Right? Where are you? I know you ain't gonna fucking tell me where the fuck you at, because you don't talk to me really. You know what I'm saying? But I just need to know where the fuck you at. I need to know if you still here, right? Some shit like that, right? And it went on about my business. You know, rest for about 10 seconds, jump back in it. And I was about to have a moment right there. I think at this time I'm doing shoulder taps. And I'm about to have a moment, I had to shake it off. And after shoulder taps, I held the plank for 30 seconds. And got up now, ready to do a 60-second rest or a 2-minute rest, because I'm dragging this. Mind you, I'm dragging. Except for that, as long as you push through Take your time. Just get it done. So I think all my rest in between was damn near 2 minutes and shit. So anyway, after I did the plank hold, now walking around, taking a walk for about 2 minutes and eating ice. Phone rings right after I get ready to after I put the ice in my mouth to walk for about 2 minutes before I start the next round. Great day, Ty. All right, you ready? Phone rings, it's my mama. You ready for this? It's my mama. And she was like, hey, baby, hey, Ty. And I said, hey, mama, how you doing? I'm doing okay. I said, well, look here, mama, I'm working out, and I'm going to call you back, I promise, about 40 minutes. I'm fucking, it's going to take a long time before I call you back. You feel me? I'm fucking, like, don't really want to do this shit. So it's going to take about 40 minutes, man. I'm going to call you back. I was already like 25, 30 minutes in a sense. I don't fucking know. Like, it felt forever. But anyway, so she says this to me. I said, I'll call you back about 30, 40 minutes once I finish working out, I promise. She said, well, look here. Let me tell you this. I said, yeah, Mama. She said, let me tell you this. At nighttime, my bed shakes. And I hear footsteps, loud footsteps coming from my kitchen to the hallway to my fucking room, and then my bed shakes. And it just shakes and it shakes and it shakes. And I put my head underneath the covers because I don't want to know what the fuck it is. Just came in my room and shaking the bed. And my head and I cover I put the covers over my head, and something snatched the covers from me. And I'm telling you this because if you do call me back, I probably won't answer the phone because I'm about to take some goddamn pills so I can go to sleep. I can't fucking sleep. This shit been going on for a while. So if you call me and I ain't answer, that's because I'm taking some pills to knock me the fuck out because I want to fucking go to sleep. So, and then she hangs up. Okay? You got me? She hangs up. So, I go, because this took about 2 minutes, my 2 minute walk. So I go back on my little mat to finish, start the next set of plank walks and shoulder taps and hold the plank and shit, next round and shit. And my dumb ass, here it is, thinking like a nigga. My dumb ass started thinking, like, let me help this bitch. Thinking like a nigga, right? Talk about a man. Let me help this bitch. Let me, put my expertise on the hoe. Let me show you how to handle a conjuring around this motherfucker, right? So I called her right back. All that took was maybe a 10 to 20 second thinking, okay? You feel me? Called her right back. She didn't answer the phone. So I called Warrior. Why did I call this stupid bitch? Okay? Well, here's what happened when I called Warrior. I said, Warrior, do me a favor. Call my mama. She ain't answering the phone right now. Call my mama. And she answers the phone. Tell her this. Tell her your daughter says, then I cut it off. So I was like, don't tell that bitch that shit. So I said, well, she was like, what happened? What's going on? You want me to check on? I said, well, first, let me tell you everything that happened just a few seconds ago, right? So my dumb ass, told the shit to the bitch wrong. Because I said, first you need to know what the fuck's going on. My dumb ass told the bitch in the wrong order. I said, well, my mama called. You know, nigga, I always got to tell how the story happens from beginning to end. Well, about an hour ago, I was eating oxtails. So about an hour ago, I was eating about 2 goddamn styrofoam containers of oxtails and shit. And then, all of a sudden, I got under a spell and ended up working the fuck out. So while I was on my next set, my mama called. I was like, I don't know why the fuck I'm mentioning all that shit, right? That shit that makes no sense, right? So anyway, and this is where I fucked up at. I said, my mama called, and, but I told my mama, you know what I'm saying, I'd be finishing in about 30, 40 minutes. You know why I'm saying all this shit to her, but I'm fucking stupid like a motherfucker. But I was like, my mama could be gone in a deep sleep by now, right? This is an emergency, and I'm eating up all this damn time, telling the bitch, and I was doing my workout. Was I doing I think I just finished the goddamn, and we're just listening, waiting for the shit, right? I was like, I think I just finished a plank walk or some old shit, or goddamn something, I don't fucking know. But anyway, and maybe I'll finish around. I don't know, like all this shit, right? Like, and poor Warrior. But and I say, and then she called me. Anyway, I say this shit to Warrior. I said she called me and I told her, I'll call you back. You know what I'm saying? I'm finished knocking this shit. I'll call you back in 30, 40 minutes. I said, my mama says to me, wait a minute. If you call me back, I may not answer because I took some goddamn pills. And Warrior's like, Mom, why you didn't say that first? I got to fucking call her. This and that. I said, wait. I fucked up. That's not the order of it. Let me finish telling you. So I'm talking and telling her, actually, it went like this. She called to tell me that the bed shakes and all this type of shit, and she hears footsteps, and cover comes. Oh, mind you, I'm on the landline, for the record, okay? And the cover comes off her and shit, and next thing I know, Nick Bed, I hear, I'm like, what the fuck? This bitch been hung up. So, anyway, speed it up. That bitch been hung up. I'm just fucking thinking she listened to me when I said, wait, let me tell you, don't get so emotional. Shit, let me tell you, I fucked up. But she been off the goddamn phone and shit, right? And so I tried to call my mom again. And didn't work, so I went back, finished working out and shit, you see? I went back, finished working out. And it hit me. My dad answered my question. That was for me, because I'm thinking I need to get back in touch with her to tell her, you know what I'm saying, like a nigga, what all she need to be doing. You feel me? And totally forgot that after I was doing a goddamn shoulder tap, and I stopped for 10 seconds saying, I need to know where the fuck you at. Just at least let me know. I swear I totally forgot I asked that fucking question. And if you listen again, when my mother called me, I said, Mom, I'm going to knock this shit out and call you back in 30, 40 minutes, I promise. She said, all right, that's fine, but let me tell you this. That's what she said. And that's what it was about. He was letting me know he was at her fucking house. Right? But me thinking like a nigga, thinking like old XY chromosome motherfucker, I'm thinking, I need to call her myself in her life and give her some direction. Give this bitch some direction. So I, you know what I'm talking about? Walk her through this. God damn it, bitch don't know nothing. Come to find out, man, she didn't even give a fuck. She was just like, let me just tell you this now, and then hung up on my ass. It had nothing to do with nothing else. That's what happens, right? So, sisters, I just want to tell you, I think that part applies to us as well when Noble Drew Ali say, when you're in the presence of any female, remind yourself of your own ignorance before you open your fucking mouth. I think that might apply to all of us as well. Goddamn, not just men. Not just men. Remind yourself of your own fucking ignorance. That shit was for me, man. Pretty good ghost story, right? But that shit kind of fucked me up. And she called me this morning, but I was tired. I was asleep. You know what I'm saying? I'll be going to bed about 5 in the morning and shit. But, so I don't know what she wanted to talk about, but yeah, she did. Yeah, she did call me. You know, shit. Yeah, man, this motherfucker. The part that got me, she told me a week or two ago that the bed shakes and all that shit, and she hears, you know, footsteps. But this, when she told me, she put her head underneath the covers, and it snatches the covers off her. You know what I'm talking about? That's the first time I heard her say that shit. Yesterday. She said, snatch the covers off, and I just want to go to fucking sleep, so I'm going to take some goddamn pills. That's all I want to tell you. If you call me back in 30, 40 minutes, bitch, I'll be knocked the fuck out. So, yeah. All right. Communication in all forms, man. I just got to fucking be more alert to it, right? You know, because then it would have been different. I've been like, hold up, mama, wait, that's some interesting shit. Mama, I gotta tell you what happened. Then I would have been able to goddamn, you know, catch that shit real quick. Like, goddamn. Okay, mama, let me tell you what happened. I would eat some oxtails. I had 2 goddamn plates of that motherfucker. I ain't want to work out. Next thing I know, I'm on a hypnotic fucking spell working out. Then I was like, Daddy, where the fuck are you? Motherfucker, just tell me. That's all I want to fucking know. Goddamn, give me a sign, something, motherfucker. And I proceeded on to my motherfucking workout. Next thing I know, boom, you just called. You called. If I caught that shit that quick, you know, I'm saying shit and be forgetting about. I throw a question out there and forget about it. I ask the question, get an answer and forget that that's the answer to the goddamn question. I'm going to call this retarded ass warrior. Got warrior losing her fucking mind and shit. And now Brenda ain't answering her calls. She's losing it. I done started a whole bunch of goddamn bullshit. Worrying and concerning. Scared for their grandmama and shit. Meanwhile, I left Warrior frantic, scared. And I'm back doing my damn workout and shit. Finishing that motherfucker up. Called my mom once I finished, still no answer, so I called Warrior. And Warrior said, I've been calling you. You ain't answered the phone. Where you been? Have you talked to her? Have you talked to her? I've been sitting here losing my fucking mind. I was like, man, I'm just finished working out, man. I ain't know you called me. She said, I called you a few times. You didn't answer. I said, I didn't hear no fucking phone ring. Nothing. She said, I called the landline and your cell phone. I said, bitch, I'm working out, so you know I got my cell phone with me. Nothing wrong. There was no fucking ringing. Not the landline, not my cell phone, not none of that shit. Well, what's going on? I said, well, you didn't let me fucking finish. You hung up on me. So when I told her everything, right? I said, then you gonna hang up on my ass, goddamn, and you didn't get the whole shit because you all emotional and shit. She was like, Mom, you said it in, what's the word? She said, you said the wrong shit first. You said the bitch took some goddamn pills because if you didn't fucking say that first, then motherfucker would have stayed on the phone with your ass. She said, you the one did that. So anyway. So I told her everything because I ain't really been talking, you know what I'm saying? I even told her this because she was like, I said, well, I really, you know what I'm saying? I said, I really got friends on my show that I tell all this stuff to because I would start telling her some more shit, right? And she was like, why you didn't tell me about this? I said, well, I have friends on the Nicoleone show. I bring it all too. So I totally forgot to tell. I was saying, that's interesting. I forgot to tell you all these, you know what I'm saying, phenomenons and ghost stories and shit that's been happening. You know, all this fucking shit. Because I say, I got friends on Nicoleone show that I tell it to. And then Rory was like, you ain't got no fucking friends. They ain't your goddamn friends. Let me say, They ain't your goddamn friends. Okay. Anyway. Oh my goodness. Anyway. So I started telling her some shit and come to find out she told me some shit. Shit was crazy. She said, she said one day, she said one day they were trying to get in my dad's briefcase and shit, right? My mama, one thing my mama taught me, if you can't get in, if your hand can't get you in, use a knife. Put the knife in your hand. You can get in anything. My mama always grabbed a knife to bust open some shit, so she couldn't get into. She know the nigga briefcase combination and shit, so she couldn't get into it. So so she grabbed a knife, trying to get that shit, and the light started flickering, right? Light started flickering, flashing and shit in the house. And Warrior was like, Brenda, Tef here. I don't think that motherfucker wants you in his briefcase. Brenda was like, fuck that. I'm getting in this motherfucker. She kept going. Then the whole house went black. No lights. So now the bitch can't see what she putting that knife at to try to jar open his briefcase, right? The whole house went black. She don't, and mind you, she lives like in a hotel type shit. I don't know what you call it. She the only house, the hallway lit outside her little shit. The lady got her little light on, right? Her little house. She got the only little motherfucking hotel room. That's what I call it. She live in a hotel room. The only one that ain't got no lights in that motherfucker. And Warrior kept trying to tell her, Brenda, that's Tef. Tef don't want you in this shit. Now we in the goddamn dark and shit, right? And she said, that's Tef doing that. That Tef caused that, them lights to go off now. And Brenda said, that nigga ain't do no shit. Like, he ain't got no power like that. That nigga ain't do that. And she was like, he ain't dead, mama. So she was trying to tell my mama that for a while. So we just sharing little stories and shit, right? And I said, and then she told me, she said, she said, that's crazy because, she said, because Tierra told me that Brenda called her last week or two saying, Tef ain't dead, Tierra. Tef ain't dead. And I said to her, I said to Tierra, I said to Warrior, Warrior, that shit real to her now. For her to tell another motherfucker that shit is real. Because remember I told you she called my motherfucking ass in the bed and said, you were right, girl. You were right. That nigga ain't dead. That nigga ain't dead. You were right. Right? But for her to call Tierra and tell her that shit, I said, oh, that shit real to her ass. That shit real. I said, I ain't know she called Tierra. She was like, yeah, Tierra told me that she called her and told her that he ain't dead. That shit real. I said, that's real now. She knows it for a fact beyond a shadow of a fucking doubt. She know that shit. So I was telling Warrior, because it's hard to tell you humans. Like my baby said, they ain't your friends, Mom. So I say to Warrior, I say, look here, baby. It's important that we keep needing him, talking to him, using him. If not, they'll go. So we got to always talk to them, need them for something. It don't matter if it's a question asked, all of that. They have to stay here. If not, if we don't keep them here, you know what I'm saying, they leave. And it's hard for them to come back. Because once they stay gone for too long, you know what I'm saying, it's hard for them to come back. That's what, and then Word said, She said, okay. Yeah, so always keep them needing. Always call on them. Always. Because if we stop, they get further and further away from us because they find out that they're not needed. And once they gone, it's hard to get them back. It's the hardest shit ever to get them back. So keep them here. Keep them here. So, you know, and I don't know, Nick Bet, like what everybody else is doing, because I know that I'm moved on with their life in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And I know that I don't even know if I'm doing my part every day. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, you know, I don't know if I don't know if I'm doing my part. I don't know if I remember to talk to him and ask him some fucking questions. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's because you don't, I mean, it's kind of hard to calculate, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'll talk to the nigga. Like, if you ask me when last time you talked to Doc, and I can tell you, goddamn, yesterday. So, but ask me when last time I talked to my daddy. You know what I'm talking about? Nobody asks that shit because y'all motherfuckers reject. I always ask that shit. I just want to tell you that. I always ask, no matter who transitioned, when last time you talked to them. You know what I'm saying? When last time they came to see you? When last time you heard from them? You know what I'm saying? I've always asked that because I got to, because I'm curious. And I just been studying this shit for a while. And I realized that, see, thinking about a motherfucker is different. Talking to a motherfucker is a whole nother level, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother level, just out there, just having a conversation and shit. So that's a little bit different. I'm pretty sure people think about, you know what I'm saying, whoever the fuck it is from time to time and shit. But to talk to them all the fucking time. And you just got to really fucking realize that if you know they there, then ain't no need to think about them. You can just talk to them and shit. So I cannot calculate when the last time I talked to the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? When the last time I asked this nigga a question? When the last time I got mad at the man or some old shit? So I can't calculate it. And I don't know when my daughters are so busy living their life, when did they just stop in the middle of doing something and was like, you know, Tef, I love you. Where are you? You know what I'm saying? You know, cause you know, like that. So I don't fucking know. So I'm having to make sure everybody knows. Keep them useful. Let them know. Talk to them. Don't want them. Talk to them because they're already here. You know what I'm saying? Don't keep it in your head. Say it out loud. You know what I'm saying? Say it out loud and shit. And that way they stay needed. They stay needed because once they find out that they ain't needed, ain't nobody mentioning them and no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Need them or, you know what I'm saying? That type of shit, they get too far gone. They start to, you know, drift away. And I don't really want that to happen because I need some more testifying. You know what I'm saying? And I want to hear some more of that shit from my mama. You feel me? Like forever. And my children. You feel me? I want to hear some more of that shit because it's like I have a need, like a yearning or a purpose to let you dumb fucking humans know that they ain't gone or dead. You know what I'm saying? And in order for that to happen, I have to have the life, I have to live the life to prove to you motherfuckers that they are here. That is my yearning. That is my purpose. You know what I'm saying? That is my purpose. To prove that Mr. Whitey, which is nothing but a dead race of motherfuckers, his whole teachings is based on death because that's all he knows. But that's not our way of life. Death is not our way of life. You know what I'm saying? Life is our way of life. It's not death. You know what I'm saying? They dead. When they died, they dead. And we picked up and took on whatever the fuck he said it is, and that's not true for us. You know what I'm saying? So I know that that's my fucking purpose, is to show you motherfuckers so y'all can walk around with some testimonies like you did as a Christian. You know what I'm saying? That God is really fucking real. When you ask, that motherfucker showed up and all that shit. You got to do the same fucking thing. You got to do the same fucking thing. They'll show up and show the fuck out for your ass. So take that whole belief in God and show them that that your mother, your father, your brother, your grandmother is the living God. Jesus ain't the only living God. God ain't the only living God. They are alive. And you have a million testimonies because you'll keep them alive. Keep them right there with you as long as you need them. You'll stop praying. You'll be able to walk and talk with them again. As long as you know they're here. Like he talked your ass about goddamn Jesus. You can talk to this motherfucker. Jesus will take the wheel and all that fucking shit. And there it is. So I think that's my purpose. Like my real true purpose in fucking life is to show y'all how to stay in contact. You know what I'm saying? And know they're not dead. They can leave. And it's hard to get them back once they go. So keep them relevant. Keep them working for you. Keep them with you. You know what I'm saying? Keep them revealing things for you. Keep them showing, ask them which way to go. They'll show you which way to go. All that type of shit. You feel me? You know what I'm talking about? If you're doing the right thing, fine. You want to ask them. Just say it. You know, come on now. That type of shit. So that's all I'm saying. Like, fuck. Because when they go I'm telling you now, there one day, right? I think it was, matter of fact, I do it all day. I'd be like, fuck. I just had this moment, but this one time, it could have been yesterday or the day before. I'm sitting at the desk, and I'm like, man, why the fuck y'all won't answer my goddamn question? That's what I'm saying. And I'm talking to El Kidder on this shit. You know what I'm saying? I said, motherfucker, you ain't answering shit. You know what I'm saying? I keep asking you where the fuck my dad at and shit, and you ain't fucking giving me nothing. And then, look, now, if I'm at the desk, I said, I know what, motherfucker. I know what. I'm going to ask Portia. I sure did, Neff. So I'm going to ask fucking Portia, because your ass don't give me nothing. You don't give me shit. That's what the fuck I say, Neff. Like, I sure did. I sure motherfucker, because that bitch moved faster than y'all motherfuckers. Y'all motherfuckers ain't like, goddamn, y'all gonna ignoring some old shit. Like, I gotta fucking wait. And that was the day before or that same night. Could have been yesterday. I don't fucking remember. Could have been yesterday earlier after my show or some shit, and I had that moment like, what the fuck? The fuck? Still ain't getting nothing from your goddamn sorry ass. I sure did. At El Kidder, my nigga, like, what the fuck? You know what? I know who the fuck know how to move faster than a fucking man, a goddamn woman. You piece of shit. I was pissed. So I'm going to ask Portia. Sure did. Ask Portia. Goddamn it, that bitch moved fast. For me, I'm going to ask Portia, and I did. I sure fucking did. I sure fucking did. I sure motherfucking did. I sure did. And that thing I know, I don't know. I ate some of them oxtails. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't fucking know. Yelled out. Where the fuck your bitch ass at, nigga? And cussed him out saying that shit too. What the fuck? You ain't gonna even tell me any fucking way. Like, the fuck I'm even asking. A fucking man, where the fuck you at? The fuck, like, this makes no god. I'm like, fucking, like, yo. That's all I wanna know. I don't wanna know where the fuck you at. I just wanna make sure your ass is still here. That's it. You know what I'm talking about? I just need to make sure you still here, shocker. The fuck it is. Motherfucker. Phone wrong my mama. At 10:30 last night, man. So yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, Portia moved fast for me, man. I said, fuck, I'm talking about Portia, man. Y'all motherfuckers on some hoe ass shit. Y'all some hoe ass fucking shit. I always want to act like y'all got some important shit to fucking do and can't talk and can't tell and all goddamn in due time you will know all this dumbass shit. When you ready, you know, when you ready. When the student is ready, we will appear. All this dumbass shit. Nobody got time for that old hoe ass goddamn bullshit. Motherfucker, I need it, and I need it right now. Yeah, Neff, I did. I'm so glad you popped up, because I totally forgot that shit, goddamn. You know, piss off a nigga when you gonna call a woman on his ass. So shit, I was like, fuck that. Fuck you. This point on, I'm fucking with Portia. Y'all niggas are full of shit. Give a fuck how great you are to some of these fucking mortals. Don't give a fuck how many times your names is mentioned in books. Y'all niggas ain't shit. Them motherfuckers jump off if you gonna call another. If you gonna call a female to take their position, to take their place, them motherfuckers jump up real quick, fast, in a hurry. Goddamn it, they gotta cancel you out. Plenty of fucking female deities, a hell of a lot more powerful than you fucking men with wings. Y'all motherfuckers slow flying this shit. Take y'all forever. Show up. I ain't got time for all that whole ass shit. Anyway, so that's that. That's me. I don't give a shit. You feel me? Like, that's my relationship with all of them. You know what I'm talking about? Don't make me call a female now, nigga. You better hurry up. You better kick ass tomorrow night or else, or I'll be motherfucking, I would no longer say your fucking name and you'll be gone for eternity, lost. Fuck around and start calling up all the females I fucking know, nigga. That's the end of you. You'll get no more power. You'll just be going into the void. So you better show the fuck up when I say your fucking name. Because I know how to motherfucking have your ass in the void. Because that nigga gave a real good clue. That nigga gave a real good clue. He said, they're not mentioned no more, they cease to exist. That's what that motherfucker said. If you don't mention them, they'll cease to exist. So I know how to make these motherfucking male gods cease to exist. All I gotta do is stop fucking with you. All I gotta do is stop asking you and wanting your bitch ass and start wanting the grandmothers, the supreme grand deities, the grandmothers, the great-grandmothers, my sisters that done translated over, the Lat, Pretty Brown Eyes, Cheryl, Queen of Farmer, motherfucker. Look here, you bitch. Can replace your fucking ass with the true matriarch of the spiritual, mental, and Lahut plane. Motherfucker. The fuck? And you know, I ain't scared of no man. I don't give a fuck if that bastard got wings. Give a shit. I will replace your ass because ain't no loyalty here. I need to get some shit done, and I need the shit done now. Motherfucker, I don't got time to wait on you. So many powerful bitches I fucking know. The fuck is this shit? I mean, when I was young, I was mad at Jesus, and I told Jesus, I said, I'm going to tell your fucking mom on your ass. I was a little girl, pissed off at that nigga. I said, I'm going to tell your mom on your bitch ass. I'll never forget that shit. Goddamn it, motherfucker, you don't want to fucking come goddamn act right. I'm going to call your mama Mary on your ass, motherfucker. The fuck? You better goddamn call him, nigga. Call your mama. Mary be like, did you call Jesus? Yeah, I called that motherfucker. He talking about wait. I ain't got time for that bitch nigga to wait. The fuck? You don't tell me wait, Mary. Jesus not supposed to do that. Jesus not supposed to goddamn tell you to wait. That motherfucker gonna come right now. Nigga supposed to say he on his way. He right there. I'm gonna get on him. I'm gonna get his ass. I'm gonna get on him for that shit. Thank you, bitch. All right, anyway. Oh, back to Zena. Oh my God. Back to goddamn Zena. Back to Zena around this bitch. Woo. Damn Zena. Boy, that girl got a bag full of goddamn facts. That bitch got a bag full of motherfucking facts to back up that wild, crazy shit be coming out of Don Nicoleone mouth. She got the bag full of facts. To bag that shit up. Yesterday's show. I should name that show. And I think I'm going to name it Get That Down Pat First. Get That Down Pat First. Doc called me later on after the show, like a little bit later, before I ate the oxtails and shit like that. And he was like, I heard the show, man. He said, man, when you said get that damn pad first, he said, man, I ain't heard that that shit in 30 goddamn years. Get that damn pad first. And we just are laughing and shit. Anyway, get that damn pad first, motherfucker. And then, of course, Doc wants to tell me that he's God. You know, he wants to tell me that, you know, based on the show and shit. I'm not an XY man. I'm God. I'm like, okay, nigga. Okay, motherfucker. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? The burden of proof would be on me to prove you wrong, and I ain't got time for that shit right now because I would hurt your fucking whole ass feelings. So I'm going to let it go, you know, like a mother now. Okay, you can be whatever you put your mind to. Okay, little Johnny? All right, anyway. So, you ready for this, Nabet? That damn Zena. Nabet, was you on the show yesterday? Did you hear Dr. Nicoleone show yesterday? I said, boy, that's that damn something shot all in my ass on that show, didn't it? Talking about the X and the Y and the Y and the X and the X and the X and it's still a bitch and something jumped in my ass. After it's all over, once it get out of me, right, I be like, God damn, boy, I be saying some shit. Y'all got me goddamn, y'all just using that. I'm a fucking puppet. Y'all got a fucking hand up my ass and making me say these truths and shit. But y'all can't hear the truth. So I'm going to give you the facts. Facts, you can research, as some of you niggas call it, researching. So what I gave you yesterday is the truth. Zena got the bag of facts. What is Fragile X syndrome? You ready? Zena said, matter of fact, let me read what Zena said in the little chat room today when I went live. She says, did what her say? She said, I found it. I said, found what, Zine? She said about the Fragile X chromosome affecting men intelligence, but has no impact on females because they have another backup X. And she says, I didn't hear the show until today, and I found it. Zena is the X factor like a motherfucker. Woo-hoo! So I gave you motherfuckers the truth. Now, y'all niggas don't want the truth. You just want the facts. Because you can't understand because you dealt with the truth thrown at your ass. So, here's the facts. Fragile X 101. There is a foundation that exists for you brothers, or half brother, half sister you are. Men are half brother, half sisters. They half and half. Well, more sister in them than brother. Or sister. Sister and a half sister. Okay? But anyway, there's a foundation for you niggas. It's called the National Fragile X Foundation. Look it up. Starting there first. The National Fragile X Foundation. You hear me, see him? Bingity, Brian, rest of you rejects. Okay? Ready for this? It's called the Fragile X, it's called the National Fragile X Foundation. You can go to fragilex.org. You niggas can donate and give monthly for your Fragile fucking X. Brave. What is Fragile X syndrome? Fragile X syndrome is FXS. Is a genetic condition that causes intellectual disability, behavioral and learning challenges, and various physical characteristics. I'll do it again. I'm right all the time. I'm telling you, I'm never wrong. I'm right all the time. It will confirm itself. Fragile X syndrome, FXS, is a genetic condition that causes intellectual disability, behavioral and learning challenges, and various physical characteristics. Through FXS, Fragile X syndrome, occurs in both genders, males and more frequently affected occurs in both genders, males are more frequently affected than females, and generally with greater severity. The reason is lower in females is that with all males with an FMR1 full mutation will have a Fragile X syndrome. Some females with an FMR1 full mutation will not have behavioral, cognitive, or physical features of Fragile X syndrome. Can y'all follow this so far? Because there's another long-ass article I'm going to read to you guys. Can y'all follow it so far? Okay. All right. This is from the National Fragile X Foundation. Life expectancy, it says, life expectancy is not affected in people with FXS, Fragile X syndrome, because there are usually no life-threatening health concerns associated with the condition. Prevalence. There have been a number of studies aimed at determining the prevalence of Fragile X syndrome in males and females. Studies have been undertaken both in the special needs population. Then I tell them, I tell them they some special ass, educated ass motherfuckers. Then I tell them they was retarded, special need people. Then I fucking say that. Okay, that's what it ain't like that. I said that yesterday. I say that all the time anyway. But, hey, who the fuck am I? Anyway, studies have been undertaken both in the special needs population and the general population. The agreed upon prevalence of FXS. Okay? You ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Signs and symptoms in males. Behavior characteristics is ADD, ADHD, autism spectrum disorder and autistic behaviors, social anxiety, hand biting and or flapping, poor eye contact, sensory disorder, increased risk of aggregation. Nope, that ain't what it says. Increased risk of aggression. See that? Increased risk of aggression. Intellectual disabilities. Intellectual disabilities in FXS include, this is all males now, includes a range from moderate learning disabilities to more severe intellectual disabilities. The majority of the males with Fragile X syndrome demonstrate significant intellectual disability. Okay? Now they figured out some of the physical features. No one individual will have all the features of an FXS. In some features, such as a long face and a macro or chidism, CHIDISM, are more common after puberty. So some of the physical features may include large ears, long face, soft skin, large testicles called macro or chidism in post-pubertal males. And sisters, I need y'all to check your son's testicles. Connective tissue problems. Connective tissue problems may include ear infection, flat feet, high arch palate, double jointed fingers, hyperflexibility joints. You hear this shit? Disposition characteristics include very social and friendly. Excellent imitation skills, strong visual memory, long-term memory, nice, like to help others, thoughtful, wonderful sense of humor. In females, this is long as fuck. In females, behavioral characteristics seen in males can also be seen in females, though females often have milder intellectual disability and a milder presentation of the syndrome's behavioral and physical features. Intellectual disabilities. This is dealing with females now. About 1/3 of females with FXS, what's that stand for? I forgot now. What the F stands for? Fragile X. Fragile X disorder. There we go. About 1/3 of females with Fragile X syndrome have a significant intellectual disability. Others may have moderate or mild learning disabilities, emotional/mental health issues, general anxiety, and social anxiety. So, these sisters, look at yourself too. That's why I mentioned the bitches too yesterday, depending on your X and you. A small percentage of females who have the full mutation of the FMR1 gene that causes FX syndrome, Fragile X syndrome, will have no apparent signs of the condition, intellectual, behavioral, or physical. These females are often identified only after another family member has been diagnosed. The 3 main Fragile X disorders: the full mutation of the FMR1 gene. Okay, number 1, the Fragile X syndrome. Symptoms include intellectual disability, behavior and learning challenges, and various physical characteristics. Males are more frequently affected and generally with greater severity. Pre-mutation of the FMR1 gene. Traditionally, a carrier of a genetic mutation is defined as a person who inherits an altered form of a gene but shows no effects of that mutation. However, in Fragile X, this definition does not exactly fit, as carriers of a Fragile X pre-mutation are at risk to develop FX, Fragile X TAS, and FXPOI. Now, what is FXTAS? It's called the Fragile X Associated Tremor or ataxia syndrome. All dealing with the X chromosome, y'all. Pre-mutation carriers of the FMR1 gene mutation can have no apparent signs of a Fragile X disorder and may or may not develop FXTAS, that's Fragile X Associated Tremor. And it's pronounced as FACTAZ. FACTAZ, F-A-K-S-T-A-Z, FACTAZ. Anyway, but what does it say? There's no apparent signs of a Fragile X disorder and may or may not develop FXTAS, which usually occurs in male pre-mutation, and carriers after age 50 with symptoms, including balance, tremor, and memory problems worsen with age. Wow. All right, the FXPOI. That is, listen to this, that is the Fragile X Associated Primary Ovarian Insufficiency. Okay? Pre-mutation carriers of an FMR1 gene mutation can have no apparent signs of a Fragile X disorder and may or may not develop FXPOI. What's FXPOI? Fragile X Associated Primary Ovarian Insufficiency. We're gonna call it FACTOI, which usually occurs in female pre-mutation carriers after age 40 and refers to the spectrum of impaired ovarian functions that can include infertility and early menopause. I'm so wanting some early menopause. Genetic inheritance. Fragile X associated disorder include a wide range of physical, intellectual, and behavioral symptoms that can affect family members in many different ways. These conditions are passed down in families through expansions of the F. God damn, y'all need to kill yourself. With the expansions of the FMR1 gene, okay? If I did that right, yeah. Even for the genetics professionals, FMR1 inheritance is complex and confusing. So it's no surprise that families often have questions about the genetics of Fragile X. We start with some background on genetics and chromosomes.
They got a little list, a lot of shit, man. I'm gonna study this shit on my own so I can beat you upside the head with it. Testing and diagnosis. So, yeah, and pre-mutation. Okay, so now, all right. So that's from the National Fragile X Foundation. Now we're going to cross the street, boys and girls, to science.org. You ready for this? We're going to cross the street now to science.org, right? Listen to this. Why is a remote Colombian town a hotspot of an inherited intellectual disability? You hear this? That's the article in Science. It came out 2018, October 10, science.org. Why is a remote Colombian town a hotspot of an inherited intellectual disability? Got it? We in Colombia now. It's late afternoon in this tiny town tucked into the Colombian Andes when Mercedes Trevino, 82 years old, lights the wood stove to start to prepare dinner. Smoke fills the 2-bedroom home she shares with 6 of her adult children. Francia, 38, one of the youngest, is the family's primary breadwinner. She brings home 28,000 Colombian pesos, roughly $10 a day, harvesting papayas in the fields just outside town. Really, what I earn is just enough for eating and nothing else, she says. 4 of her siblings have Fragile X syndrome, a genetic condition that causes intellectual disability, physical abnormalities, and often autism. Jair, 57 years old, works alongside Francia when he can. Hector, 45 years old, is also somewhat able to care for himself. Victor, 55 years old, and Joanna, 35, who has both Fragile X and Down syndrome, are less independent. As Mercedes, the mother, serves coffee on this July afternoon, sweeten it with a hefty dose of sugar and offering her best cups to her guests, she talks about the conditions that dominates the lives of her family and many others here. Her niece, Patricia, 48 years old, who lives a few blocks away, cares for 2 adult sons and a nephew with Fragile X. You hear this shit? More distant kin in town, the Quinteros, also have grown children with the condition. Other neighbors are adults with Fragile X who have no caretaker and look after one another. In Colombia, this town has long been known as the home of Los Bobos, meaning the foolish ones, thanks in part to a 1980s novel and a later TV series that depicted families like the Trevinos. More recently, scientists have caught on that it is home to the world's largest known cluster of people with Fragile X. One researcher, medical geneticist, Wilmer Saldaraga Gil of the University of Univala in Cali, Colombia, has made ricotta the focal point of his scientific inquiry. Saldaraga, who vacationed nearby as a child, says he has visited about 100 times since the mid-1990s to trace how fragile a town and its inhabitants, and to try to understand details of the syndrome's biology. He says, "This is a history of scientific research, a history of my community, and a history of my life." The payoff from research in this town could have global impacts caused by mutation in the FMR1 on the X chromosome. Fragile X syndrome is the leading cause of inherited intellectual disability worldwide. It affects as many as 1 in 2,000 men and 1 in 4,000 women. And as a single gene cause of autism, a recalcitrantly complex condition, Fragile X chromosome, has been the focus of efforts to develop drugs for autism. The proteins disrupted in people with the syndrome are also key development. In March, Saudaraga and his colleagues reported that at least 5% of residents have carried either the full-blown Fragile X chromosome mutation or less severe pre-mutations that can trigger the condition in future generations. Pre-mutation carriers usually escape cognitive problems, but some develop physical symptoms, including tremors and fertility problems. The research here might explain such variability, which could reflect how the protein FMR1 encodes FMRP interacts with other proteins and pathways. The scale of Saudaraga investigation is small. Riccardi only has 58 full mutations and pre-mutation carriers by his count, but the research benefits because the town's residents share the same environment, similar genetic background, offering a natural control for some variables. Jim Grisby, a clinical health psychologist at the University of Colorado in Denver, says, "What you have here is something that certainly warrants a lot more intensive investigation," says Jim Grisby, a clinical health psychologist at the University of Colorado in Denver. Saudaraga Jill obsession with this town began in 1980. As a boy, he spent summers at a family home in Pusano, 10 kilometers away. When he attended church here, he couldn't help notice the lanky men and women with large flat ears who spoke very little or not at all. Saudaraga Gill says, "Everyone who knows Ricarte had curiosity. Why is it happening here?" Growing up, he heard many stories. According to one nearby, magnesium mines had poisoned Ricardo's groundwater, damaging the minds of people who drank it. Protestant missionaries to the region warned residents that God had sent the foolishness to punish them for worshiping El Divino, an image of Jesus in Ricardo's, a white A-frame church that draws Catholic or Catholic pilgrims. The other hypothesis was sorcery of some sort. Saudaraga Jill says, in that version, women in the town prepared a love potion that sometimes went wrong, producing intellectual disability instead of undying devotion. Saudaraga Jill's father warned him never to drink anything offered by a woman from Ricardo. Saudaraga Jill eventually set out to discover the truth as a medical student in the late 1990s. His advisor suggested the people here might have Down syndrome. But when Saudaraga Jill paged through a 1,000-page medical textbook, he saw photos of people who looked eerily similar to a boy he knew in Ricardo, Patricia Trevino's nephew, Ronald. The people in the textbook had Fragile X chromosome syndrome. To confirm that the resemblance was more than coincidence, in 1997, Saudaraga Jill took blood samples from 28 people in the town who he suspected were affected, Ronald included. He analyzed his person's karyotype, that's the number and appearance of their chromosomes, by inspecting their blood cells under a microscope. So, in most people, FMR1 contains anywhere from 6 to 54 repeats of a specific set of 3 DNA letters or bases, CGG. You guys can look it up. In people with Fragile X chromosome syndrome, however, the gene has more than 200 repeats. Zena, wasn't that profound when I say why we call them repeaters? That was yesterday. There it is right there. See that? That's what repeats. It's just repetitive. It's something fucked up with the genes, I'm telling you. So anyway, the extra DNA disrupts the X chromosome. You hear that? The extra DNA disrupts the X chromosome under the microscope. Tiny islands appear to break away from the chromosome, making it look fragile. Of the 28 people whose karyotypes Sal Daraga analyzed, 19 showed those telltale islands. Y'all want to hear some more? Because it's long. It's a lot, you know? It's a lot more. I'll keep going. Pre-mutation carriers, however, have between 55 and 200 CGG repeats, too few to be obvious under a microscope. In 2012, Saldaraga decided to try to identify those carriers by building a pedigree chart to trace the condition's inheritance through Ricotta's family. Pre-mutation carriers often have affected children or grandchildren because in Fragile X chromosome, as in other triplet repeats, conditions such as Huntington's disease, the number of repeats typically increase with successive generation. Let me do that again, because I'm hearing noises. It's interesting. I think I found out what my problem is. With you know, I'm still doing sound technical difficulties coming from the computer. Then it goes into this phone. So I'm trying to figure out. Looks like these wires are touching somewhere, and they should not be touching. So I have to redo these wiring that I've did and creating my system here. Okay. So, are y'all? You guys are listening to this? Girls, because you know all of us are girls anyway. No matter how big your clit is, you're still a girl. We just got to figure out where to place you at now. Now, okay. Can we I gotta play a clip. I'll be right back. I promise. Okay, I promise. You know I'll be right back. And you know what? It's the perfect time to play. Can we all agree that we've all been mind fucked and tricked? Donna Kuluwm Show. Be back in 2 and 2.
Can we all agree that we've all been mind fucked and tricked? Can we all agree to that? Can we just agree to that? Fuck! Who fell first? Can we all agree that we've all been mind fucked and tricked? Who fell first? Can we all agree that we've all been mind fucked and tricked? Is the white man so powerful that he has destroyed the black man single-handedly? Can we all agree that we've all been mind fucked and tricked? Can we all agree that we've all been mind fucked and tricked? Can we all agree that we've all been mind fucked and tricked? So can we work on putting the black mind back in its righteous state? That's how I see it. That's how I see it. would have the outside theory you better you. I'm here to right any right or wrong. I'm not here to blame anyone. We've all been a product of this fucking experiment. We've all been a product of it. 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 Is the white man so powerful that he has destroyed the black man single-handedly? Okay. Damn, listening, knowing what I know now, She-Doc, listening to this clip here is like I'm not going to play that anymore because those are misnomer statements that Don is talking about, the younger Don, like, you know, like using words like black man and white man and, no, there's just, no, those are misnomers. That's not scientifically accurate. I'm going to have to redo that one. Bring more facts in. Okay, so welcome forward, ladies and gentlemen. We have 19 minutes before we actually go into overtime, before we take off. So now, Nick, looks like you're the only one that's interested in this type of shit. So, and Zena, of course. So I'll continue just because of you. We're in the let me see where the fuck I'm at. Pre-mutation carriers, however, have between 55 and 200 CGG repeats, too few to be obvious under a microscope. Now, bam. In 2012, Sal Darraga and Jill decided to try to identify those carriers by building a pedigree chart to trace the conditions inheritance through Ricotta's family. Pre-mutation carriers often have affected children and grandchildren because in Fragile X, as in other triplet repeat, conditions such as Huntington disease, the number of repeats typically increases with successive generations. Working backward from affected individuals, Sal Darraga tried to guess at what had passed the mutation on. That approach took him only so far, however, because he had no definitive test for pre-mutations. Here's what I think for a second, what happens. If we can go back up to that beginning, and let me give you that article, my friend. You too, She-Doc, because you're a doctor. You like shit like this. Here's the one about the family in Colombia and the medical research geneticists that ended up doing this shit on the Fragile X chromosome, okay? So that is that. And let me give you sisters, because the brothers are not going to be concerned about this, the National Fragile X Foundation. There's both of them for you, okay? Now, understand this. Okay, if we go back, I don't feel like I want to lose my place. But if we go back to the top of this story about the Colombian town, and you give the ages of these guys, and they basically can't take care of themselves around our age right now, some of us. Kudos for you young motherfuckers. But it's interesting, okay? Like, fuck it. Let me open up another window so I don't have to lose my spot. I'll open up another window and paste this shit back in there. Because I want you guys to get this. Oh, wrong one. Because I really want you motherfuckers. This is science.org too. I have an explanation for this, right? Copy. Paste. BM. Small town. Okay, so listen, follow me closely real quick, right? Because I gave y'all the links and shit. Remember, Francia is 38 years old, one of the youngest motherfuckers in the family. She brings home about $10 a day. Remember that? And then there's other males. She got brothers.
Where you got me? And there's other brothers. She got a brother. 4 of her siblings have Fragile X syndrome. One guy is 57 years old. Jair is 57. Hector is 45. Victor is 55. And then there's Joanna, who's 35. So what does she have? Remember, the mama name is Mercedes. She's 82 years old. She got 6 children, all adult, living with her. You got it? Everybody clear? Right? And she got all these. She got Jair, a son that's 57, Hector 45, and Victor 55. Got it? Everybody clear? We're dealing with the males here. Okay? All right? They can't take care of themselves. Okay? All right? You got it? One of the reasons why, here's my on this shit, but it's still a fact because shit, I'm not guessing. I'm looking at these motherfuckers here. My theory on this is these niggas is laying in the fucking house, right? Which means they've been laying. You know how black bitches got a problem with niggas living with their mama? You know what I'm saying? At their mama house or some shit. And their mama do everything for them. Here's my question. What if that actually jumpstart the mutation of Fragile X? You hear me? What if that jumpstarts the Fragile X mutation, She-Doc? You got me, right? From the mother with the child, right? Doing all this shit for this nigga. You got it? And also for the female, because females, it says 1 out of 4,000 females end up getting that Fragile X. You know what I'm saying? The X chromosome become fragile. It can also, and see what I know is that you can fuck up your genetics even if it's out of your body. You know what I'm saying? You can continue to fuck up your genetics. Genes is nothing but information. You know what I'm saying? So what you are feeding your gene or your generation right now could be siphoning them. You know what I'm saying? Turning what is one of the strongest chromosomes into a fragile one. You got what I'm trying to say, Nick Bet? You know what I'm saying? Not one of the strongest is the strongest. The only thing that keeps you alive is the X chromosome for your cells. You know what I'm saying? Give your cells life and vitality and energy and shit, right? So think about this. Think about what Donna's trying to go here now. Okay? Just think it for a minute, okay? Now, so black women got a problem with a lazy ass nigga, right? Got it? Don't want to do nothing. Want everything done for them, right? You got it? Now, that's the product of raising the XY chromosome, being responsible for the grooming of the XY chromosome. Like I said, all roads leads back to the mammy, okay, or the father, whoever the fuck is siphoning the X from growing into a full independent motherfucker. Because the article is saying that they are dependent. They lack independence. These men, 47, one is 47, one is 55. No, one is 45, one is 57, and one is 55. You understand? Pretty good age, right? Not old. You know what I'm saying? They ain't old. They got the perfect fucking age and shit. 57, 40 something. And the mama, 82 years old, making everybody something to fucking drink for breakfast and shit like that. And these niggas laid in the fucking bed. They got the pictures of them too. The shit is amazing. Well, I don't know. I think it's just an image. Anyway, they want to be cared for. You understand? That's the problem. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Depending upon a double X to care for them, right? So when they leave their mama, they still looking for a double X to care for them. You understand? And that stagnates their ass. You feel me? So I'm saying maybe that's what turns that X into fragile. You know what I'm saying? Because they're talking about independence here. That's what I'm talking about, right? And lacking, and they have what? Intellectual disabilities. You understand? And it's true because I find myself having to tell a motherfucker something so simple that you really didn't even need intellect to figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? It's just like common sense. But these are the males I have to fucking talk to. You know what I'm saying? The men in my life. You hear me? And these men are older than I am. Okay? So that we're dealing with an intellectual disability like a motherfucker. Why you can't figure this shit out? You've been on this planet longer than goddamn me and everybody the fuck else, and you can't figure out this simple ass shit. You know what I'm talking about? That's an intellectual disability. You know what I'm talking about? I hope women are listening with men in their lives. Please tell me you listening. Why you have to think for this motherfucker? Because the nigga has a fragile X chromosome now. The X is declining in this motherfucker. So you think by the time they get a certain age, it'll be fully developed into an intellectual being, but it has intellectual disabilities. Can't see, I'm for real, that's a motherfucker. So, and now here we are, right? Where the same males, right, on social media, now it makes sense, are demanding that women pick them up, lift them up, support them, care for them, and shit like that, right? That is because why? You know why? Because you don't have the intellectual ability to do for yourself. So that would now explain the fragile X chromosome that's happening with the males. You hear me? With the males, that would explain. What will it explain, Don? Make it sound scientific. Make it sound like you're a smart bitch, Don. Okay, I will do it. That would explain the full mutation of the FMR1 gene. That would explain some of the symptoms. They're going through symptoms, but it's genetically now. What are some of the symptoms of the fragile X chromosome syndrome now? Intellectual disability, behavioral challenges, and learning challenges. Okay? So that would also explain what Neff asked Don Nicoleone was what? Why these niggas ain't getting this shit? That's what she said yesterday. She said, I mean, these motherfuckers got out of, they got Dr. York, they got all these motherfuckers. Why they didn't get this shit? Neff, scientifically and not man bashing, the fragile X chromosome syndrome, the full mutation of the FMR1 gene. Okay? Keep that in your head. Keep those words in your heads. Keep it in the front of your head. When you see that nigga tripping, say, it's the fragile X syndrome. That's what the fuck it is. Your genes is still mutating, motherfucker, to the goddamn FMR1 gene. You got a pre-mutation of the FMR1 gene and shit. You got that Fragile X associated tremor shit, ectasia syndrome happening in your ass, motherfucker. We got to diagnose it correctly around this motherfucker. Even though I've been doing it my whole time since I figured out, especially with the help of the Black Book. Ooh, that goddamn Black Book. That's my medical book. For niggas, that's their religion. That's their basic instruction before leaving Earth. That's their Bible and shit. You know what I'm saying? They want to hear about Tammuz and Nimrod and all them motherfuckers and Unkton and Ra and shit in that motherfucker. That's their religion. Oh, hell, Ra. But the Black Book to me is my scientific studies. Scientific genetic studies, that Black Book. Now, so, put it all together, got these lazy ass Fragile X chromosomes that lack intellectual ability, so they have intellectual disability, they have behavior disability, because it make you wonder, how the fuck you don't know how to do a goddamn thing around this bitch? You know what I'm saying? You hear me? Here's Doc yesterday acting like a fucking 7-year-old child or a 10-year-old child. Right now, he says to me, a message just came up on my phone saying there's no Wi-Fi connection. I said, well, motherfucker, you seen that damn word plenty of fucking times, so you know what the fuck it is. Goddamn, the fuck. No need to get hysterical about it, woman. No need to fucking, it's a message pops up saying I had no Wi-Fi connection. Motherfucker, but you've seen it a million times, motherfucker. You know what Wi-Fi is. You know what the Wi-Fi connection is. You know what the fuck it is. So what the fuck are you mentioning it for? God damn it. It kicked back in when it kicked back in. Motherfucker. He trying to tell me, did I pay the bill? I said, motherfucker, don't matter about no goddamn bill. Whether you got Wi-Fi or not, nigga, you still got goddamn fucking Verizon. Your 5G, 4G will kick in. What the fuck? Think, nigga. Think. Like, like motherfucker. The fuck. Again, so here's what Don Nicoleone has said. The older they get, the fragile the X chromosome becomes. You got it? You hear me? That's what I'm thinking going on. The older they get, the fragile, they end up lacking intellect. You understand? You feel me? They end up losing a lot of intellectual shit that they can't think for themselves. You hear me? Now, here's also what I think that has happened. Religion did it. Okay? Can't think for themselves with religion. You know? Being able to not problem solve. You hear me? On their own. And they're using whatever woman in their life to figure it out for them. You got me? For real. Now, it's a motherfucker. Something to think about, you know? I'm thinking that the X chromosome mutates to fragile X chromosome because of the dependency it has on the female. You got it? And then then after that, it starts to confer. Yes, Don used the word confer. If it's not in a proper text and I'm about to use it in, just let me know. Then it starts to confer it onto other males. You got it? Did I use it right, She-Doc? It goes from female to male back to female to male. So it starts to confer its dependency also onto males. You got it? Thus, the brotherhood starts. Okay? Because going back to the EA, if a brother's in need, You know,
90 seconds.
We know that them motherfuckers will be looking out for each other. That's the dependency. That is the disability of the intellectual state of mind from a Fragile X syndrome behavior. You hear me? You got what I'm saying? Right? And me
60 seconds.
A motherfucker scientifically. Because first, Doc, I was more being a helpmate. But I'm no longer a helpmate. I'm a fucking scientist studying the actions and nature of the male gender that's in my life. I stopped being a helpmate. You hear me? Because I thought it was naturally to help a motherfucker. Help your nigga. Help your son. Help your male friend. You know what I'm saying? Help. I thought it was natural. No, baby, I'll get it for you. Oh, baby, you hungry? I'll make you something. Oh, nigga, you don't know how to clean up behind the table. You done made some crumbs. I'll wipe it up, down. I'll wipe the crumbs off and shit. Oh, baby, you don't know how to
10 seconds.
Right, I'll put it on in there for you. Let me take it and put it in for you. Oh, this fucking shit, right? And I step back from this shit and look at it. That is the Fragile fucking X syndrome. Okay? Intellectual disability. Okay? You hear me? Hear what I'm saying? For real. Like, nigga, you don't know to go get the car service? You waiting on me to tell you? Yes. I'm waiting on you to tell me. You waiting on me to tell you something that you should already have done and knocked out? Yes. Yes, I'm lacking intellectual ability. I have Fragile X chromosome, baby. That would explain it. That would explain it, motherfucker. So, can we all agree that we've all been mind-fucked and tricked? Can we agree to that? So, this last hour, we are about to go into triple darkness to figure this shit out, where all intellect is. Got it? Okay, so Fragile X chromosome syndrome. All right, going back to these fucking Colombians and Sal Daraga. This motherfucker tried to guess at who had passed the mutation on. That approach took him only so far because he had no definitive test for pre-mutation. The next year, his Caro type research caught the attention of experts in Fragile X, including Randy Hagerman, medical director of the Medical Investigation of Neurodevelopmental Disorders Institute at the University of California, Davis. She and her colleagues offered to help spot the pre-mutation carriers by using a polymerase chain reaction, a PCR test, polymerase chain reaction, which Saldaraga wasn't equipped to do in his own lab. PCR would make it possible to amplify and sequence the resident's DNA. Hagerman recalls being struck by Ricotta's promise for studying Fragile X. She says, when I first visited this town, I was surrounded by individuals with Fragile X syndrome, and I said, oh my God, this is like ground zero for Fragile X. the 2 lanes. And I think what happens is when you make the bitch your helpmate. You see what I'm saying? These people are highly religious, right? You feel me? You're told to serve God because God is what? Disabled, right? To serve anybody is to show that they're disabled. They can't do it, right? And they also taught that you serve man. Man is disabled. So in this little small ass, fucked up ass town, all the women serve these men. And they found that all these men have mutated FMR1 fucking gene. Fragile X chromosome. You see that? You get where I'm going here? Huh? Anybody can see this? Something happens. Okay? Why the fuck would I serve an almighty ass motherfucker? If you the almighty motherfucker, then you shall serve me. Okay? I'm the unable fucking one. You know what I'm saying? But why is the ones that so-called able want to be served when you should be doing the serving? You understand what I'm trying to say here? That's just my thinking. If you strong than a motherfucker, why you asking me to go get the remote and bring it to you? Go get your beer out the fridge. You the strongest motherfucker. You supposed to go get the beer out the fridge and give me one too, motherfucker. Okay? So if something is wrong here, take it back to the almighty God himself. If you is the almighty, you should be working day and night. Serving. You know what I'm talking about? If you everywhere at all times, you grew the fucking universe, motherfucker. Surely you can grow me a goddamn pear in a pear tree, motherfucker. Why I got to do the shit? So, now, according to society, man is the shit. Okay? For real. It's the best thing to have in your goddamn life. Is a goddamn man? Yes or no? That's what they say. It's the best thing to have. Something wrong with you if you ain't got no man. Like something wrong with you if you ain't got God. Okay. Man is likened unto God. God is all powerful, almighty, all knowing, right? You hear me? That's what they say, don't they? All knowing. So shouldn't you know how to do every goddamn thing before you get with my motherfucking ass? Shouldn't you know how to do everything before you get with me? You know what I'm talking about? Like everything. And then teach me how to do the shit. You know what I'm talking about? Because you the best damn thing next to goddamn God. You in the image and after the likeness of this old lazy ass motherfucker. But it needs everybody, don't it? It needs everybody. Didn't want to do the work. Let's make a man. Didn't feel like goddamn doing a lot of shit. You know? Let's get a wife. Get a wife to do it for you. Get a wife. Get a woman. You don't have to do a goddamn thing. You get one of them motherfuckers, you ain't got to do shit. And I think that religion jump-started the decline in the X chromosome in the XY body. You feel me? Where I'm trying to go here? You feel me? And come to find out, it deals with intellectual abilities. Oh, that's true, because they actually found that out. Where's Zena at? Zena, you found out because Doc told me this about a month or two ago. That nigga was like, he was reading medical something journal, and they had a whole article on the X chromosome, and they said that shit is responsible for your intellect, your intelligence as well. I swear that nigga told me that shit. He said the intellect comes from the X chromosome, your intelligence. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Yeah, go find it. Look it up. Can't make this shit up. Look it up. Doc told me that shit now. Yeah. So now it makes sense now with this Fragile X disorders, and the symptoms are intellectual disability. You know what I'm saying? Intellectual behavior disability. You feel me? It all makes sense now. It makes sense that, yeah, it's some going, there's some. Bitch, I ain't ever shitted on no nigga just because I shit on men shit on women with no facts. I shitted on you niggas with the truth and got the facts to back it up for you motherfuckers. That's a little bit different around here. That's another level there. And it says special needs, Doc. You know what I'm saying? Which is another reason why we don't want that shit. We don't want to deal with no nigga. Goddamn nigga, these motherfuckers got special needs. Nobody have time for this shit. You know what I'm talking about? We done with that shit. I mean, nigga, they got special needs of everything. If he miss you, he needs you. If he wants you, he needs you. If he's thinking about you, he just a special need. Anybody has time for all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker can't even goddamn put his socks together. The fuck happened there? Leave dishes in the goddamn sink. You got to tell this unintellectual, fragile X-ass motherfucker, nigga, get the dish. What the fuck? Nigga, leave bath water still in the fucking tub. Just all this retarded ass shit. You know, anybody got time to be dealing with no special need adult around this motherfucker, okay? You came out healthy. Nothing was retarded with your ass. All you needed to do was basically learn how to hold your own bottle. Boom, you did that. Then learn how to feed yourself with a spoon. You did. It was all about learning. You wasn't fucking retarded. You didn't need a motherfucker. Then learn how to fucking piss on your own in a toilet and continue to keep fucking learning. Continue to keep fucking learning. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, what the fuck happened? You're supposed to continue to fucking learn it. Now these niggas, something fucking happened. Something happened to the XY like a motherfucker. Learning disabilities, intellectual, like special fucking needs. All of a sudden, this nigga got special needs. Nigga told me he can't even go to sleep at night if I ain't in the fucking bed. That's a goddamn special need. But the fuck, when do you become a special need ass motherfucker? You know what I'm talking about? Where's your intellect? It declines. It's fragile. And mind you, the X chromosome is responsible for intellect. All right, let me get back on this motherfucker, because now we're in California with a female doctor. Finish this shit off. Scientists are looking for other genetic variants. Okay, here we go. Is this it? California field between the clouds? The 2-lane road to, where that lady at we were just talking about? Oh, she says, oh my God, this is like ground zero for Fragile X. That's when she went to Columbia in that little small town where them bitches got to do every fucking thing. The 2-lane road to Ricarte from California traverses sugarcane fields between the cloud-shrouded Andes that enclose the town. Sal Darriaga estimates he has driven the route dozens of times in the past 5 years. Before 2010, Colombia's drug trade made the trip dangerous. The region is safer now, he says, but the mountains still teem with farmers secretly growing coca, the raw material for cocaine. Sal Darriaga Gills checks in on residents with Fragile X every 2 months or so, offering routine checkups and monitoring them for complications. Over multiple visits between the 2015 and 2016, he and his students are collected blood samples from 926 people, about 80% of the population. Genetic analysis of the samples led to his recent finding that about 5% of Ricotta's residents have either the full mutation or a pre-mutation. He supplemented the genetic work by recording oral histories and digging up century-old land marriages and birth records with help from a local historian. Ultimately, Sal Darriaga reconstructed much of the town's history of the syndrome. An unwieldy pedigree chart now dominates one of his office walls, spanning 9 generations and 420 names. 2 big families, the Trevinos and Gordillos, form its trunk. Sal Darriaga slashes lines through the deceased and scrawls notes in looping handwriting where he is still guessing at kinship. One name is circled with sunlight ray extending out in every direction, Manuel Trevino, who may be Mercedes' great-grandfather. Sal Darriaga says he suspects Manuel was one of the town's original settlers in the early 1880s and carried the pre-mutation to Ricotta. Everyone here with Fragile X chromosome could be his direct descendant, although how the mutation spread to the Gordillos is still unclear. To confirm that founder effect, Sal Darriaga team is conducting a haplotype or a haplotype analysis. The scientists are looking for other genetic variants shared by people with the condition, which would imply that they all share a common forebearer. Okay? So whatever XY showed up, fucked up everybody in Colombia. Mixed in with them, fucked up, and carrying that Fragile X mutation. Okay? So Sal Darriaga Gil and colleagues from Unival are also sequencing the exomes, EXOMES, the protein coding portion of the genome of the people from whom they took blood samples in 2015 and 2016. That's why they said don't mix your seed. Don't mix your blood with these motherfuckers. You hear me? Macbeth, that's what the fuck it is. That's what the fuck going on. That's what the fuck happened. Now, they hope to learn how genetic variability outside the FMR1 gene influences how Fragile X mutation manifests themselves and why people with the same FMR1 mutation can have such different outcomes. Among women, mosaicism, in which a person's cells aren't all genetically identical, explains part of it. Let me see. Because women have 2 X chromosomes. Each cell turns off one of them at random. Let's do it again. Because women have 2 X chromosomes, each cell turns off one of them at random. If most of a woman's cell turns off the mutated copy, she might show few outward signs of the mutation. If the normal copy is shut down more often, she might be more severely affected. Mosaicism emerges differently in men who have a single X chromosome. Some of their cells may have the full FMR1 mutation, 200 plus CGG repeats, whereas others end up with the shorter pre-mutation or with a complete deletion of FMR1. The array of symptoms resulting from a mutation might also depend on how FMRP interacts with other proteins. FMRP is missing in people with the full mutation, which silences FMR1, because FMRP controls the activity of nearly 1,000 other proteins, many of which are crucial to the interactions between neurons. Its loss can have far-reaching effects, particularly during brain development. But in people with the pre-mutation, the impact of the reduced protein might be more or less severe, depending on other genetic variations. Sal Daraga and his colleagues predict that genetic analysis will reveal that people whose Fragile X chromosome symptoms are similar have overlapping patterns of gene expression and protein interaction. He said, nope, somebody else says this, Julian, a geneticist, says, this type of population is ideal for this study because these people have a similar genetic background. That's the motherfucker from Unival, a geneticist, Julian Andres Ramirez, who leads the Exome, EXOME study. The ultimate goal for Fragile X researchers is to develop treatments. Because of its connection to intellectual disability and autism, Fragile X has been the focus of an extensive and so far unsuccessful drug development program. Several candidates that showed promise in early clinical trials fizzled out in larger trials. So researchers are seeking new proteins or pathways to target, and some of those may emerge from the work done here. Now, this is Eric Klan, director of the Center for Neuroscience at New York University in New York, says, most geneticists would say they are genetic modified. No, most geneticists would say there are genetic modifiers in some of these families to possible treatment. So, understanding the molecular underpinnings of Fragile X might also explain why general anesthesia and some seizure medications are more toxic to pre-mutation carriers than to typical people. Hagerman says she was struck by the number of pre-mutation carriers here whose symptoms are unusually severe. Remember Patricia? Patricia Trevino's sister, Rosaria, 60 years old for an example, is deaf and mute. Her sister, Julietta, 58 years old, has seizures and uses a wheelchair. Hagerman said pesticides sprayed heavily in the nearby field might be to blame. Looking at the environmental contaminants could tell us a lot about vulnerability in people with the mutations. That's what she said. No one here is waiting for radical new treatments. Even if the residents can help researchers develop drugs, they know they are likely to be among the last to receive them. Mercedes Trevino's son, Jair, is one of the oldest workers in the papaya field, but he has no complaints, even though his work is arduous. Living among others with similar symptoms has given him a degree of freedom he'd be hard-pressed to find anywhere else. So as long as it's a bunch of bitches around, like bitch-made men, I guess, fragile motherfuckers, he okay. But if he take his ass somewhere else to a country, he gonna stand out like a motherfucker, which is happening to America right now. These type of men here. He swings the heavy crates one by one. His wiry arms flexing until he has stacked nearly 100. He stops to wipe sweat from his brow and secures the truck's door with an iron bolt. The driver starts the engine as Jair hops in the back. Jair says he looks forward to being back the next day if it's God's wish. Back in town, Patricia, who is Jar's cousin, says all she wants is a good drug to control the seizures of her sister, Julietta. For years, Julietta has taken phenobarbital to control her convulsions, but the drug is risky for pre-mutation carriers like her, who may be particularly vulnerable to its neurotoxic effects. Scans that Saudariga took show that portions of Juliet's brain have shrunk, and in the past few weeks, she has started to complain of headaches. Another of Patricia's sister, Esperanza, 60 years old, who also was a pre-mutation carrier and relied on phenobarbital for years, died in 2015 after several massive seizures. Julietta could take safer medications such as valproate, but getting a prescription hasn't been easy. This is a long ass hour. We almost finished, y'all. In July, a new doctor who serves ricotta in 3 other towns arrives to make her rounds. Rubbing Julietta's temples below her cropped black hair, the doctor explains that she doesn't have the correct paperwork to prescribe valproate. She suggests Patricia takes Juliet to a doctor in Bolivar, about 7 kilometers away. Patricia doesn't own a car, and walking there would take her about an hour and a half. Bitch, walk. 4 months, Patricia has pleaded with a local health minister, Viviana Alvarez, to secure basic sanitary supplies and protein supplements for Julietta, but to no avail. Although the family is entitled to free care through the government, Alvarez says her hands are tied. She says health insurance takes its time. The problem is on the national level. The hospital Santa Ana in Bolivar can't help much either. With just 8 doctors, it's fielded 15,000 appointments and 5,000 emergency room visits in 2017. Hospital doctor has hired a physical therapist to visit about 15 people here with Fragile X every weekday, but he says ricotta will probably never have its own physician. I always want them to do more, Saradaga says, although he understands the financial constraints. He tries to fill in the gaps during his visits and has enlisted a Colombian nonprofit to donate clothes and mattresses to many other families. Given the harsh realities of life here with Fragile X, some residents have made difficult decisions about the future of their families. Rosario Quintero's daughter, Sarah, has the full mutation but shows no sign of the syndrome. Before Sarah learned that she carried the mutation, she had a son who also seemed unaffected. But afterward, she had her fallopian tubes cut so that she cannot have any more children. Another carrier who chose to remain anonymous also decided not to have children. Over the past decade here, only 3 children with Fragile X have been born, and many with the conditions are older than 50, trapped in this valley by economic hardship and unyielding geography. The population with Fragile X could slowly die out. Saudariga says that he is racing to understand the syndrome's secret before that happens. This story was produced in collaboration with Spectrum. And you know, I just clicked on Spectrum. So, you know, autism came by way of vaccinations first, right? Anytime there's a vaccination that is taken, it does something. Maybe it alters the X because they're tracking Fragile X to also autism. So anyway, yeah, and special report. They're finding unusual animal models of autism. Because mind you, a lot of the this shit is wild. Listen to me. A lot of the like vaccines and shit, they use animal products for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's what I think happened, okay? You have two types of two-legged entities walking the earth. One in human form, one in animal form. Can you follow me on this? Right? The one that does not have the animal gene in them, right? Rishi, monkey, dog, and shit, human being gene, decided to let the dog man, or mankind, as they like to call themselves, a kind of man, govern over them, right? Sound familiar? Govern over them to the extent of trust. And trust is the most important thing regarding this, is trust them in medicine, trust them in healthcare. All right. So this two-legged human being, no beast in them, no animal in them, not called up mankind, trusted the king of the animal kingdom, trusted their medical discoveries or all this fucking shit. You got me? And mixed and mingled with them motherfuckers. Okay? With mankind. Got it? With the germ man. You got it? Now, because of the mixing, Nigbet, and the trust of the germ man by way of the two-legged other human being, 9-ether, melanin enriched motherfuckers, the male and female trusting these bastards. They are animals, and that's true. Genetically are fucking animals. That's why they like to call themselves mankind, a kind of man, but not really ish. Right? The only thing that you vaccinate, the only creatures that you vaccinate, listen to me, is those of the animal kingdom. Got it? Not those of the non-animal blood. You got me? So you're only supposed to vaccinate the two-legged animals and the four-legged animals. Right? For real. That's it. But through thousands of years of mixing with these animals and being raped by these animals, you hear me? Producing children by these animals, you got it? Altered the DNA genome. You hear me? Alter the DNA genome through the mixing. You hear me? So, through that mixing, the X chromosome got corrupted. You understand? And if in fact the bloodline is pure, but now here we are in the 21st century. In the 20th century, your parents' relied on the beast man to make health decisions for your ass, to tell you what good food is good by their FDA approval, whatever the fuck they have. And you start eating the shit that they eat, drinking the things that they drink, and thinking the way they think, which can alter everything of your pure genetic XXXXX, from the female X, the Nubian female X, given to the male X, passed on, and now it's all scrambled and fucked up, okay? Our biggest dilemma, you hear me, that we have truly in our race, in our species, is why we're all acting the way we act and why we all think the way we think. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? The conflict with the so-called X's, the XY and the XX. Yet, still dependent upon the beast man to inject us, alter our DNA, put us in interesting toxic environments that really attacks the female, which is the XY chromosome brother. He believes he's a brother, but he's actually a sister. But and to turn it to fragile, okay? Here's the most interesting word to use interchangeably is feminine, okay? You got it? Now, the first time I've heard the word feminine put properly, not energy, but the action. The first time and placed in a race of people, and the first time I've heard the word feminine placed in a race of people was in the 9-ball, the Liberation series for Nubian people, the Nubian Guide. And it said that the Caucasian race is the most feminine, right? And when you really think what feminine is, you think weak. You think fragile, right? Yes or no? Let's fuck all them niggas making it cute, calling it feminine energy and masculine energy. Let's deal with it for what it is. Weak, fragile. Not a lot of genetic dominance. Okay? Got it? You hear me? So when I read in the and that shit came out in 1967, the Non-Nubian Guide to Liberation 9-ball series. The Caucasian race is the most feminine of all races. Okay? Very fragile. Can't be out in the sun too long. Is a hemophiliac or some shit, right? It lacks the ability to produce red blood cells or some old shit. It cannot clot like we can. You understand? Doesn't clot naturally. All types of shit. It's the weakest. So they use the word feminine as the weakest race, okay? He did in this book, right? The weakest race. Feminine means weakest. Right? Recessive. You understand? And needs vaccine. What happened to us is giving us the animal vaccine, turned us and changed us, male and female, of the sun heat gene race. You understand? And through over the hundreds of years, 300, 400, 500 years, our men became recessive. The X in him start to degenerate. You understand? Just like the feminine Caucasian male. And just like the feminine, weak Caucasian woman. Okay? You can still add in the fact of the rape. You understand? And also that you want to lay with them motherfuckers and shit. You by your own will, you want to lay with them motherfuckers so you know what the fuck it feels like. And mind you, all males are carriers, no matter what it is. So our black two-legged non-animal man lays with the animal woman and brings it back to the non-animal Nubian sun heat gene chick. Ask them all. Found a nigga now that wants to date you. Ask that nigga, have you been fucking white people? He'll tell you yes. And all of that is carriers over into that, okay? To also weaken the true XX chromosome and the true XX chromosome Nubian woman. to also fragile that bitch the fuck up. You hear me? You got it? Then the boys come out with a fragile X chromosome, let's say almost fragile, and produce another boy child from a Nubian to Nubian. But this motherfucker is fragile like a bitch now, like a white woman crying over the fact that she didn't get the right cake that she wanted. He cries over shit like that. Your nigga son, okay? Fragile X chromosome, right? He goes off and produces a more fragile as Nubian sun heat, appears to look like it has sun heat genes, but it also runs from the fucking sun. You hear me? So now you have the sun heat gene race, runs from the sun, cries over spilt milk, whines like a white bitch, needs Bob to take care of him, okay? Just a whole bunch of shit. This is from mixing. This is from believing in their fucking medical shit. It's from everything like a motherfucker. You hear me? And here we are amongst each other, bashing each other. I'm not. I'm scientifically truthing your motherfucking ass. First, bash you second. You don't have enough intellectual abilities to understand really what the fuck going on around this motherfucker. So he creates, through autism, a doctrine of suppression. Motherfucker. And a doctrine of aggression. It says those males with fragile X chromosomes have more aggression because it can't get what it wants. It doesn't use intellect. In the Black Book, it says these niggas rule with brute force rather than intellect. This is after he explains the XX chromosome and the XY. Because when a child can't have his way, it'll throw some shit at your ass. Or hurt itself and fall off and bust his head when it gets mad. It does that type of shit. And we look like the bad guy. We all look like the bad guy in our race. But somebody got to have more of a scientific mind and more intellectual than the rest of your fucking race because they are degenerating. You hear me? And they said that shit. You know? They said that the males of our race are degenerating. Shoulders are no longer wide. You know what I'm saying? Hands are no longer big. Feet is no longer big. It's about as small as a white bitch. Tiny, feminine white bitch in black skin with a black dick. You hear me? They're getting smaller. And that's true. And I truly believe that the only way a nigga can hide his, what do you call it? His femininity or his small waist for real, if he overeats and become obese. But you find that the biggest nigga, big fat nigga, not big arms, not big wide shoulders, not even big feet, just a fat nigga, you're looking at a fat bitch. So, like, if I get fat, you probably wouldn't see how small my shoulders are. Okay? Or how small my neck is. So they hide the shrinking by consuming a lot of shit, so you wouldn't even know that this motherfucker is losing, is at the end of the strongest gene pool of his generation because it's fat like a motherfucker. Okay? So you look at a fat nigga hand, it's not big, it's fat and small and short. Okay? I just want to tell you that. If you look at it, there was no such thing as a fat motherfucker. There was no such thing as a fat man. Fat black man. I'm telling you that shit now. There was, for real, go back, think. You won't find them nowhere. Not even in history. You won't find that motherfucker only been fucking with Buddha's fat ass. But that's as far as that shit goes. But you never find the fat ass, goddamn obese black men in our story. You'll never find that shit. They were big, yes. They had large, wide shoulders, big ass feet, and real big ass man hands. Wasn't fat and stubby. No big ass fat belly or none of that shit. You hear me? But if you notice, they are the most feminine. Feminine meaning weaker. You hear me? Weaker. Now, emotionally weaker. For real, this is the truth. Physically weaker. For real. Okay? So, looking at a big man, you don't know if that nigga's really big. Because you can't tell it because all the fat around the motherfucker. You remove the fat, you'll find that it has thin hips, smaller shoulders, smaller fucking hands. You can put your hand and their hand right next to each other and it'll line up perfectly. You hear me? The fat hides it, the shrinkage. She does. And man, okay? You hear me? Right? That's what I'm saying. It's the opposite. And yes, they are shrinking. Okay? You hear me? Yes, they are shrinking. That's from all the mixing and relying on this jealous-ass, feminine white man to be the God, the decision maker, the God of your medicine, the God of your education, the God of what the fuck you supposed to be eating. Made this motherfucker the God, and this is what the fuck happened. And because we still carry an XX so strong, we know there's something that's wrong with these niggas today. You got me? We know that there's something wrong with the niggas of yesterday. Just can't put our finger on the motherfucker. Come to find out, the fragile, the X that came from the strongest motherfucker that predates this mankind ass son of a bitch, through a lot of genetic engineering, a lot of genetic breeding, and a lot of chemical warfare, biological warfare this motherfucker has done that y'all allowed to fucking happen because you ain't got no damn sense. It's the reason why we are still at war with one another. One motherfucker woke up, the other motherfucker's goddamn sleep and can't see this shit. Does not have enough intellect to not duck when the truth don't matter. They buck when the truth don't matter. And they duck. I posted a post, that said, there will come a time, and this time is fucking now. You're going to have to unlearn everything them Europeans done motherfucking taught your ass, gave your ass, you got to get the fuck away from. You know what I'm saying? Got to be able to solve our own problems, to solve a fucking X, to really get this shit right. You know what I'm saying? To really to fight this shit, man. These niggas now, man, are like sticks. These niggas born today are like sticks, ain't they? So fucking skinny. Hands small, feet small. whole body frame of the black male today is small. It's shrinking us, shrinking our sons to a feminine fucking Caucasian race looking ass motherfucker. You know? This motherfucker ain't even gonna wanna lift a couch. You know? Ain't gonna wanna do no heavy lifting. This motherfucker here. And that's the fragile fucking X gene. That's the fragile X gene. We mixing with these fragile X-ass motherfuckers, creating a more race of males that lack intellect. They have intellectual disability, man. They too cute. They too fucking cute, too pretty. Too cute. That's a motherfucker. Ain't gonna want to do a goddamn thing. That's what we did. That's what we did, P-Funk. We did. Gave them motherfuckers, damn vampires, blood cross and all them motherfuckers our blood for $5 motherfucking dollars in the fucking 40s to figure this shit out. What can shrink us? You know? What can make this nigga turn into a lazy bitch waiting on something to fucking happen for him? What can make this motherfucker no longer dependent upon itself and dependent on others to think for him and do all this shit for him? The fuck? You got the fucking mother X, the real mother X in your fucking ass, and you can't fucking goddamn both X's who's just one just cut off. It's pathetic. And now we can't even blame each other for this shit because all roads lead back to that diabolical fucking beast man that our ancestors allowed to govern us and tell us where to go, when to go, for whatever the fuck it is we need. This is what fucked it up. We can't even blame this motherfucker. The trust, I tell you, and still today, doing that shit. They was after the X chromosome the whole fucking time. And both, you feel me? They want to cure their fragile X shit, but they ain't crossing this damn street for that, is it? They are the ones responsible for effeminizing, making our man weak. You know what I'm saying? And that shit been going on before me and you got here now. Because if you listen to James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni, that's a weak-ass motherfucking man, and then come to find out y'all told me that nigga suck dicks and take it up the ass. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect fucking sense, don't it? Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Because a fragile fucking gene lacks the ability to love itself, care for itself, fend for itself. And it needs something of, we're going to use the word, whole to complete itself. Now they have our black males fucking off their X chromosome. You understand? Fucking off their X chromosome. Fucking it off. You know what the fuck I mean by that? You see it so many different ways, that statement. Fucking it off. And they have two X, it's just one broken off. Yep. So, anyway. Thank you, Zena, for that article of the Colombian people and the fragile. I'm going to thank her. The brothers ain't going to thank her on that, you know, jealous woman and a half. She's not going to thank her about that. Yeah, but the National, and thank you for the National Fragile X Foundation, You know what I'm saying? And see, they gonna put these niggas on, them white boys on some fucking drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because they want a full man, which, you know what I'm saying? A kind of man. They trying to fix that shit on their side. You know what I'm saying? They want to fix that shit. They don't want no retarded ass man, no goddamn no weak ass fucking man. That's what they working on. You know what I'm saying? They say that shit in Colombia now is basically the ground zero for everything that's happening to them around the fucking world. Because that little small town got all types of fragile X chromosomes walking around that bitch. So they can figure out how the fuck to stop that shit. I've been trying to figure out how to stop it, but I look like a fucking bad guy. There was a fucking China doing it too. Yup. China trying to figure that shit out too. They all been trying to figure that shit out, but now they got a ground zero. See, everybody spread it out everywhere, right? And like you talk to a nigga, they'll say, well, my great grandmama come from goddamn North Carolina and then had some kids there with some nigga in North Carolina, then took her ass to California somewhere, met another nigga, had some niggas there. Well, my father went there and met some other bitches. So everybody's all scrambled. But in this small ass fucking town in Colombia, everybody been fucking with each other since the 1800s. That's normally how it is in a small town. They stay there and populate there over and over again for generations. So it's easy to track them motherfuckers and study them and sequence their DNA to figure out the fucking problem and trace their whole lines back. Who begat what? We're all right there. So they don't have to go and find a cousin that done left that motherfucker. That motherfucker still there and bred there. That's how they do it in them small ass towns anyway. But it can solve for X. That's what they're trying to solve, for the Fragile X syndrome. Quiet is kept, but I'm loud than a motherfucker. That the intellectual gene property in the X chromosome has declined in man. Yeah, that's why you see him whining now. Whatever that guy you mentioned now, the one that you've been told bitches stop listening to, and y'all these niggas listen to that dumbass nigga, whatever the fuck his name, is them old feminine ass, fragile X chromosome ass niggas. That's the fragile X chromosome topic. That's the FMR1, Kevin Samuels, and all the rest of them motherfuckers. As a matter of fact, before I get up out of here, I want to say this. Zena came in the after party one day, I think about 3, 4, 5 days ago, y'all, and said, what the fuck? She said, young Pharaoh told his fucking followers, stop watching porn. But if you gon' watch porn, you cannot watch a male and a female having sex. If you're a woman, you need to watch 2 women fucking. And if you're a male, you need to watch 2 men fucking. Basically told them, stop watching heterosexual porn. Only watch homosexual porn. So if you're a woman, you need to be looking. This is what this motherfucker. Boy, this some wild ass shit, ain't it? This here, boy, just, I would say sit back and watch. Because they can repeat some righteous shit, but just sit back, don't fall for it, and just wait for it, and you'll see the truth, the real who the fuck they really are start coming out their fucking mouth once they get real comfortable. And gonna guide you and lead you straight to destruction. Yep. He was hiding with that for quite some time, wasn't it? You know what I'm saying? Hiding with that quite some time. Yeah, that was that motherfucker told his followers, man. That was that's what Zena said to me. She said, man, she heard that nigga goddamn tell their followers, man, don't watch no more goddamn male and female porn. Watch. If you're a man, watch 2 niggas fucking. If you're a female, watch 2 bitches fucking. And they will do it. I don't know. He probably lost a few more from that. But Just only a few more. But then again, listen, that goddamn sick-ass mankind is in everybody's mindset, having planted itself in the whole Nubian mindset, and the Nubian race, and the Melanite children, and the children of the sun, man. You hear me? That's why you don't know who's really who the fuck they are. Of your own kind. They can wear an they can have dreads, like my nigga Andre say, it's all niggas with dreads down for the call. It's all niggas with gold down for the fall. You can't fall for none of this shit. You got to look at it for what the fuck. Just sit back, stay out the way. Be a scientist, study the damn lab rat. But don't copulate with the lab rat. Don't bring the lab rat home. Keep that motherfucker right there in the science lab. Don't fall in love with these motherfuckers. They fucking rats. They carry deadly fucking diseases of the mind and the spirit and the body. But they can quote some really good, fascinating shit, can't they? Watch out there now. I'm about this motherfucker, man. Man of the Hour is up next. See y'all tonight on Hot Damn Politics. Peace.
WEEKDAYS Radio.